Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest episode of The Shadow of the Silver Mane. Before we get into what happened the last time, dear viewers, as usual, this episode is posted on Skoll Shorties channel. The next episode shall be posted on Sir Thompshire's channel. All our links are in the description below. The one after that shall be posted on my channel, Teeironor. Our links are in the description below, and then back on Skulls, and so on and so forth. Now, before we get into things proper, I'm going to ask the lovely people who have once again joined me to introduce themselves and their characters. I rolled the dice, and the dice have demanded that Zelris should go ahead and introduce herself and her character first. Can you please go ahead, Zelris?
My name is Zelris, and I play the Wood Elf Lyri Embasaro. He's currently helping John get unjailed. He's heading there at least.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know of your intentions, because I don't think that was clear the last time. But thank you. Okay. Next, according to the dice, we would have Sir Thompshire. Can you please go ahead and introduce yourself and your character?
Hello. As always, I'll be playing Benjamin Aaran, the sellsword traveling adventure, whatever he is right now, because I sure don't know what he is. I'm just I was just helping around in the docks to see if this process ends up being a little quicker, so we can get everyone out of Stormwind, so that we aren't victims of attempted murder every 5 seconds.
Well put. Next major significant milestone, if you need to change your high concept, do let me know. Well, thank you, Thompshire. Next, we have the owner of the channel you all are watching this on, Skoll Shorties. Can you please introduce yourself and your character?
Yes, hello, I am Skoll Shorties, and I am playing the Ogre Pirate Captain, Buhd. I think he goes by another name, but I sometimes forget it, which is unfortunate. But he is the impromptu leader of the ogres, and he is making sure that they all stay nice and tidy. They were going to leave, but that seems to be delayed, so that's going to be a fun thing for Buhd to try and explain to his ogre pals.
By the way, well, actually, we'll get into that after the recap, but thank you, Skoll, thank you. And next, according to the dice, is DoomGoblin. Can you please introduce yourself and your character?
Yeah, I am DoomGoblin, and I play Captain Bladebeard, who is currently carrying his mother and her cat to the ship so they can leave Stormwind. Yeah, he had an interesting battle with her last session, and won.
And that you did by cheating, but you did.
It's still a win.
I guess. So, speaking of, Skoll, as the owner of the channel the viewers are watching this on, would you be so kind as to remind everyone what happened last time?
Yes, I can. A complicated transaction turns for the worse as negotiations with Nexus Lord Teeironor break down when Lyri Embasaro absconded with a set of fell-powered daggers stolen from the Ethereal. The otherworldly creatures followed in pursuit in direction of Stormwind's harbor. The young blood elf was barely able to stave them off as the Ethereals started indiscriminately killing civilians and fighting guards, heedless of the collateral damage. Fortunately, Captain Bladebeard arrived on the scene and was able to convince the Nexus Lord to depart, in exchange for a voyage promise that the dwarf would deliver Captain Buhd's ogres and Lyri to him. Meanwhile, as Benjamin, Aaran, and Buhd discussed their options, they were approached by Clovis Smith, disguised as a Stormwind guard. Per Benjamin's previous demands, the rogue informed our heroes that the Silvermane had hired a ship, specially equipped to transport a large number of living creatures, to take Buhd's ogres wherever the party wished. They were told to look for the Blood of Nerub, captained by 2 married Death Knights, the Plagueborns. Benjamin then traveled to the harbor, while Buhd and Thamal stayed behind to chaperone the ogres. Unfortunately, because of the Ethereal's attack, our hero was told by his old friend, Major Manuel, that Stormwind Harbor would be temporarily closed for a few hours. For their part, Bladebeard and Lyri were healed of their wounds in Stormwind's Cathedral, and then decided to head to the Dwarven District to retrieve Jean and Martha, Bladebeard's mother. They were unable to find the former and were told by the guard that the undead had been arrested. As for Martha, the situation turned out to be even more difficult. Eventually, after Lyri left, Bladebeard was able to subdue his mother and retrieve his talking cat, ready to set out from Stormwind.
Thank you very much, Skoll. So, the last session we spent, I think, more or less the last hour of last session dealing with Bladebeard and Martha. So, I think it might be a good idea to check up on the other characters for a little bit before returning to Bladebeard. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that.
Sure.
Okay. So I think well, let's rejoin Buhd and Thamal in the Cathedral District as you are keeping watch over the ogres. What do you do to you were if you remember last session, a guard came up and told you Stormwind Harbor's closed, keep the ogres in check, at least for a little while. What do you do to keep them in check?
Okay, everybody. The humans are taking a very long time with readying ship, so we're gonna talk about good foods to eat on ship. Buhd in his travels learned it very good to eat lots of citron, which is little fruits, and so you eat a lot of those, and you'll be very, very good and happy.
One random ogre says, "Me like eating dwarfs."
Well, dwarves are not very in high supply on sea, and we only maybe have one. So no, don't eat him. But we can eat oranges. They are very tasty, and sometimes can be made into nice juice.
Another ogre, "What about elves?"
I don't think we have any of those either. But you can eat a nice, delicious ham dressed in orange as well. Very tasty.
Human meat ham? Another ogre.
Pig ham. Yum yum. Very tasty. I eat very, very yum. Goes down like a very nice treat.
Chef Clunk says, "Pig too small. Need human for proper feast. More work."
Well, we get big pig. Big giant pig. Size of, Kodo.
You've lost the ogres. They don't know what a Kodo is.
Oh, they don't?
I mean, they live in Daramol, not like in the Barrens.
I figured. Okay.
Well, actually, I'll do a roll to a d20 because maybe they went to Desolus. So I'll do a roll dice.
Well,
I'll roll dice to see if they know.
I just figured because the Tauren live in Fairloss as well. So
They have no idea due to
Okay.
that dice.
very large, uh, hmm, uh, big enough to eat. Very good. Very sizable.
It scream when die?
Probably.
You've definitely got the ogre's attention now. And Chef Clunk like nods sagely and says, "Meat tastes best when in pain."
Yes, we eat very painful pigs.
You've definitely cheered them up and kept them chaperoned for a little bit. I think at this point, if you guys remember, pretty much everyone was converging on the Cathedral District, but we'll take those in the order of when they would arrive. And the first one to arrive would be Benjamin. Are you here with us, Thompshire?
Yes, but I don't remember why I was going to the Cathedral District.
Well, you just finished. You finished helping the wounded to like get them put on stretchers and transported to the Cathedral District. Then you went with Major Manuel to, because he asked you like, okay, can you tell us more about these ethereals? Because we'd like to file a proper criminal report, etc., etc. And you didn't really tell them anything. Like I wrote down what you told them. You were very vague. Then after talking a little bit with Major Manuel, you said your goodbyes and you headed off to the Cathedral District because that's where you think your friends are.
Okay.
So I think as you would arrive back in the Cathedral District, you wouldn't really see like many wounded people because they were taken inside the cathedral to like be properly taken care of. But you will see like probably like an inrush of like crowds and curious people, curious to know what the hell is going on, and probably like a chain of guards cordoning off the harbor to like keep them in check. And you probably see like various officials like military personnel as well as mages arrive on the scene. You would remember from like that Manuel told you when you asked how long until the harbor will be operational again. He told you, well, we need to do a proper investigation to see if there's like if the threat is still there, so we probably need to bring mages to see if they will like teleport back in again or something, etc., etc. You'd be able to get past those people, to get past them easily enough. Like the guards are keeping people out, not preventing you from going out, if that makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as you arrive in the Cathedral District, do you head to the Ogre quote-unquote hotel or elsewhere?
Yeah, I guess I have that.
Sure. It's it doesn't seem to there aren't like people gawking curiously or anything like that. There, you're able to reach the quote-unquote hotel easily, and when you enter, you would see Buhd with a bunch of very eager-looking ogres and a straight-faced, for lack of a better term, Tomo.
Well, how's everything holding up here?
They very hungry for ham meat at least. They very much want to eat human and dwarf and elf meat. Don't bring that up too much, cause they might eat Bladebeard.
Maybe that's not a terrible thing. Anyways,
Benjamin, you see an ogre staring at you, salivating.
well, anyways, the thing at the harbor may take a bit to get cleared up.
Tomo will say, yes, we heard from the guard. Are you sure we shouldn't use the alternate escape route? If my former employer is still around, we are in great danger.
Yeah, Tomo's been very worried about his boss.
For good reason.
Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of good experiences in being teleported to new places, so I think we'll pass.
if fine, but if he's still around and if he shows up, I don't care. I'm taking us to safety. We can't face him.
Well, then let's just not face him.
But if he's around, we might not have a choice. Is he around?
I haven't seen him.
He slightly relaxes.
Well, maybe he got bored and left, or maybe he got Lyri. Oh, wait, no. Saw Lyri earlier.
I think above board last session. Above board for the viewers has been like a couple weeks since we recorded last session. That's why we're a bit hazy with our memory. But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, everyone. But I think Benjamin, you ran into Bladebeard and Lyri, and they told you very briefly what happened with the Nexus Lord.
Oh, did they?
I think.
Oh, okay. Then I guess what I'd say would be different.
DoomGoblin and Zelris, do you also remember this?
I remember
Yeah.
that we saw Buhd. Okay, did we see Benjamin as well?
I think Buhd did see them, which is why I'm like, oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we waved at Buhd.
but you saw them, but I remember that you guys saw each other from like a distance, like, because I remember like I mentioned to all of you, you see Buhd over there, and Buhd waved his hand at you, and you guys moved in a different direction. I remember
Oof.
because I was slightly surprised.
Poor Buhd. No one wanted to say hi back to him.
But so am I correct when I say that you've briefly told Benjamin what happened at the harbor with the Ethereal?
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
Okay.
I don't think he said that he made a fake deal with him. Or did I say that?
I don't think you did either. But I think you did tell him that. Well, I think you bragged somehow that, oh yeah, he's gone because of me, something like that.
Probably, yeah.
So there you go.
So, he did tell me he's gone.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Then let's rewind a few seconds in the conversation. Well, Bladebeard mentioned that he's gone. So we should be...
Gone, or gone as in left the building gone?
Well, I didn't ask for too many details.
Well, a good thing that he's gone at least.
Did you notice any Teorzalvian perfume, Mr. Aaran?
Any what?
The Nexus Lord has a penchant for that stuff. Did you notice any of that?
Did I?
No. Above board.
If you're asking me if I smelled anything particularly weird, I can't say I have.
He, like, strokes his chin, I suppose, contemplating Tomo. Well, what's the plan, if I may ask?
Well, just wait it out, I guess.
How long? The guard lady did not mention that.
Was it mentioned last session?
Major Manual said that it would probably be at least a few hours to like ascertain that everything's safe, like, but worst case scenario, if like the Ethereals are gonna come back for another attack or whatever, it obviously can be longer.
Well, if nothing goes wrong, I think it should be cleared up in a few hours.
Oh, well, they seem like they want to leave now, so... Got plan? On that?
Well, can the ogres wait a few hours? It's not like Bladebeard or Lyri are here anyways.
Guess I could get them back inside and they can go eat food. I did make them kind of hungry for ham.
Above board, you guys are inside. It's just that the ogres are like gathered in like the main hall, not in their rooms anymore.
Yeah, I meant inside their rooms or like to eat food.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just get them fed, I guess.
Okay, I will tell them to get food. All right, everybody. Gonna be longer, so go get nice, yummy snacks and eat lots of food. We take the foods that we deserve from the humans. Yes, so eat lots of yummy food that tastes good.
The ogres look at each other confused, but like at the mention of food, they like the mood immediately shifts from confusion to enthusiasm, and they will go to rob the quote-unquote hotel's cellars. Two ogres will approach your group, eyeing Benjamin.
Yes?
They one of them tries to grab you.
Hey, no.
They stop when their leader says no, and both of them turn to look at you, but very confused. You said eat.
Eat yummy food. He know yummy. Look at him.
He look yummy. But give me a flashy.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah, they look back at you, Benjamin, and the one who was reaching to grab you like eyes you up and down and sort of gives a snort and says, "Your bones, no good," and turns around. The other one still like looks sort of mildly confused between you, Buhd, and Benjamin, and said, "But you said we take from humies."
Yes, take their food. Their chunky
This
food. Look at they humans. They also cook like we do, but they make fancier foods for us. For
Just
their
one food though. No fancy, just food.
well, Benjamin is not he not over here. He not food. He friend.
What's
He
a
helped
Benjamin?
liberate. He a Benjamin. But we'll point at him.
You a Benjamin? You tasty? Looking at Benjamin.
Yes and no.
But just like sighs when he says yes.
Yeah, you literally see the ogre's eyes widen when you say yes, and when the note drops, he just looks down a little sad, dejected. Moag, please get us humies, or me no vote for you next time.
At least give ham a try. It very tasty, okay?
He grumbles but turns around, respecting his leader's wishes. Yeah, the ogres have all like crammed into the kitchen and into the downstairs stores. No humans in the quote-unquote hotel. It was mostly left to the ogres' devices, and they begin plundering.
Well, at least that is taken care of.
You do probably get the inkling that because of the plundering, like, if for whatever reason you decide to tell the ogres, "Oh, you guys stay here for like a few more days," there won't be supplies for a few more days. If that makes sense, because now they're being like ravenous, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think Buhd really thinks of the Ogre Hotel as their supplies, but more of their stop. So Benjamin points that out, and then Buhd might have to object and figure something else out. But
If not, Lyri, would you like to enter the Cathedral District at this point?
Sure.
Okay. If you remember last time, you went with Bladebeard to help gather up his family. On the way, you found out, oh yeah, John was taken to prison. You don't know why. And when it came the time to apprehend Bladebeard's naked mother, you noped the hell out of there and said, well, I don't know what you said, but you left, and I presume you were returning to the Cathedral District. What do you do as you enter the Cathedral District itself? Where do you head?
Lyri heads for the main building because that's where she assumes everyone will be.
The main building meaning the, like...
The one the ogres are in, yeah.
Okay. Because, like, the main building in the Cathedral District is the cathedral.
Oh, yeah. Well...
But I get it. Okay. You head there. Nobody would, like, stop you or interrupt you or anything. And you are able to enter the compound. The smell is the first thing you notice, and then the sound of ogres pillaging.
Lyri kind of just heads in, trying to look for someone she knows.
I think Buhd and Benjamin and Entomo are like standing almost in the doorway, so you definitely see them.
Oh, alright. Lyri approaches Benjamin and kind of pokes him.
Oh, you're still alive.
Mm-hmm. John is in prison. Could you go get him out? You're the one good with words. Go and get him out.
I mean, I'm not sure what I can do, but
I mean, we have orders. I mean, we were residents of the king. Surely they should let John out.
well, sure, but how do we prove that? How's this? How about I head to the stockades, and in the meantime, you stop by the SI7 building you mentioned, and maybe find our gnomish friend and ask her for some documents, maybe?
Before Lyri responds to that, one thing I should mention. It's late afternoon at this point. Lyri was told to report for her conscription at 1800 hours, which would be like in 2 hours from now. So it's getting kind of close to that time.
Oh, and don't forget to not desert.
Right.
Wait, why do not dessert? We got plenty of it here.
Not anymore, from the looks of it, says Tomo.
Well,
That's true.
I'll do that, but in the meantime, you go head out to the stockades, and I'll check out the old town.
Well, yeah, since you're busy, I guess I'll pop by the SI7 place then. Where is it exactly, by the way? I don't think I've been there.
It's in the old town. One of the two big buildings that are in the Clare. Like, they're not surrounded by any other buildings. They're quite separated, I guess.
Well, since you're going to the old town anyways, I guess I'll go with you.
Wait, you're going with me? I'm not going now.
Well, I mean, then what are you doing?
Having a drink.
What happened to saving John?
I'm thirsty. I need water.
Can't you get a drink here?
I am. That's why you need to go without me.
Is your brain working okay?
I'm confused, says Tomo.
Me too.
Yeah, my brain's working okay. Now go get John.
Well, you should come along, because you need to go to Old Town.
Lyri kind of looks at Tamal and Buhd.
I should remind you that if you don't handle whatever business you have to, we probably won't be let off Stormwind that easily. So I'm just letting you know that.
Oh. Okay. Tomorrow, but stay right here. All right.
Well, that's what I've been doing.
Which one is visiting John in the stockades? Tomo asks. I've kind of lost it.
Well,
Benjamin is visiting tomorrow. I mean, John. Tomorrow is visiting Benjamin. I mean,
see, your brain isn't working right. Have you been drinking things aside from water by any chance?
No chance. Benjamin's no bit. Bladebeard. Oh no. He kind of face palms again. Bladebeard has fetched his mom, so we should probably. I mean, I assume he's fetched his mom. He was meant to fetch his mom. I kind of left him, but assuming he fetched his mom, he'll be back soon. So we really got to get John out as soon as possible.
Well, I think the ogres are a bigger worry than Bladebeard's mom, even though it's a close call, I guess.
Right. Okay, let's head out then. You go to the stockades, and I'll go to the old town, right?
No, I still need to go to Old Town.
Why do you need to go to Old Town?
Remember what I just said about the SI7?
Couldn't I do that?
Oh, but then you'd have to return, but you have to stay there for your conscription or whatever it is.
Then why do I need to go to Old Town?
Aren't you supposed to meet someone there?
Meet someone there? What do you mean?
Did you hit your head?
No, what do you mean meet someone in Old Town?
Oh, look, I'm sure even Buhd remembers, right?
But,
Above what I don't remember.
remember what?
What do you mean? Didn't Lyri have to meet someone for the...
Oh, for the conscription thing, my bad.
Yeah, was it in Old Town?
Yeah, it was in Old Town.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yo, wasn't she made janitor by King?
Well, she was supposed to need someone to handle that.
Oh,
Well, I thought you told me to not go there. Why are you telling me to go there now?
Because I just remembered what time it is.
But why do I have to go there?
Because otherwise he'll be a deserter and we won't be able to leave Stormwind without you going to jail.
and we go to jail a lot.
That won't be an issue. What are you talking about?
Why won't it?
They won't. How would they jail me?
By catching you at the checkpoint?
Right.
Look,
Catching
if
me at the checkpoint.
you're planning on deserting anyways, why don't you go to whatever meeting you're supposed to? You join, but then you leave. Because if you miss the meeting, you'll immediately be a deserter, right? So the problems will be immediate and not after you leave. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, right.
After you clear things up and you don't have to desert.
But
It's,
you know what? Why didn't you head out to Old Town first to soften the blow, then I'll follow after you,
what's that supposed to mean?
You can talk to our gnomish friend and maybe she can clear it up.
Well, then I don't understand your reasoning for not coming.
Because I need to drink water. I hit my head.
Then go drink water. That takes like a minute or two.
Okay, well, go.
I can wait 2 minutes. It's fine.
You're wasting time. Ugh. Lyri kind of shuffles over to wherever there might be water. I don't know.
You don't see any. Tomo will suggest. Well, there was some in the storage room for the ogres, but and you hear the sounds of ransacking.
Wait, Tamal, come over here. Maybe we can figure out how to get through.
Can't you like conjure water or something?
I can conjure bread. Cadgar taught me that.
I'm
Did I
not
conjure water?
really. I'm not really a mage, if you're asking me. Oh, I know a spell or two, but not much.
No. I can conjure water, right? Oh, that's what you're saying, right, Benjamin?
I mean, bread is made with water, so I guess you should be able to.
It is? How vulgar.
Anyway, Tamal, come over here. We'll figure out a way to get past the ogres.
He comes to you, yes.
All right, now listen to this plan to get past the ogres. Lyri kind of whispers into his where his ear should be. He doesn't have them. Hey, next time anything bad like that happens, could you teach me that teleportation spell?
Oh, certainly. I can teach you right now.
Oh, thank you.
He starts digging into his bag, and after a short while pulls out a bunch of what you would recognize as arcane dust, like a handful. And
Lyri watches attentively.
He hands it to you.
Lyri takes it.
Whenever you're in jeopardy, draw the all-in symbol, and it should take you to Area 52. That's
The what symbol?
Oh, different magical traditions, I suppose. He will demonstrate a symbol. Can you give me a clever to see how well you understand it?
Does my stunt apply, or?
Let me check the exact wording on your stunt. For the viewers, that was me smacking my phone on the table. The players didn't hear that. My bad. I don't have your character sheet on hand, apparently. What was the... Can you remind me what the wording on your stunt was, please? When investigating magical objects and occurrences... Yeah. This is a magical object because it's arcane dust. And an occurrence, yeah, it is an occurrence. With that roll, you understand the symbol, and you can clearly see that it's somewhat similar to other teleportation symbols you can draw on the ground for, like casting in a ritual. You don't recognize the exact pattern. You suspect that it's like not a teleportation spell that's made to take you wherever you wish, but rather to a very specific place. You then infer Tomo said he's not a mage. He was probably just like taught that as like whatever emergency measure, so he might not even know where it leads.
Right. Lyri nods and kind of make sure to take a mental note of that, I guess, thing.
Whomever is going to visit John in prison, he once again starts digging in his bag and pulls out another fistful of arcane dust. Can you hand him this? He knows what to do with it.
Okay.
Since you volunteered, he hands it to you, Lyri. Above board, he was not 100% sure who was actually going to visit John, but since you volunteered, he hands it to you.
Lyri takes it. Suddenly I feel much more refreshed. Lyri kind of begins walking out the room.
Do you need me to come with?
Nope. You stay here with Buhd. Make sure that he doesn't do anything. Yeah. And we'll get John free.
Tomo looks at Benjamin as if asking him, what should I do?
I sort of just shrug.
He will shrug back and walk to stand next to Buhd sort of awkwardly.
Right, Old Town, right?
Did you forget the drinking part?
Oh no, suddenly I just feel a lot more mentally refreshed.
Right. let's go then.
I shouldn't have to say this, but please don't inhale what I gave you.
You
Please.
gave me something?
Um.
Perhaps. Okay.
Above board, I didn't know you were trying to be secretive, Lyri, so Tamal was not trying to be secretive.
I wouldn't expect him to be anyway.
So Benjamin and Bud probably noticed the exchange.
This should come without saying, but drugs are bad, Lyri.
Yeah.
Don't do them.
Well, we all have our vices.
You'll be high as a kite.
Do you know what a kite is?
I don't.
I mean,
Like a sail, but on a string.
What's the point of that?
It's fun. You get to sail your own little tiny boat in the sky. It's very fun.
You usually need magic for that, not sails, but sure.
Just need a nice windy breeze.
anyway, Benjamin. Larry
Yeah.
kind of grabs his hand and starts pulling him.
Does Benjamin allow himself to be grabbed?
I guess.
Then you are being pulled.
Old Town, right? Come on, let's go.
Okay, but your eagerness is scaring me a bit.
I'm not eager. I'm just ready to get John back into the crew.
And enlisting in the army.
Yeah, that.
Above board, which direction are you, if you are heading to the old town, which direction are you planning to take, via the trade district or via the dwarven district?
I was thinking trade district.
Okay. Then before we see what happens on that note, shall we check up on Bladebeard?
Sure.
Sure.
Yes.
Bladebeard, you've just finished packing up your mother and your cat, aka hoisting the former over your shoulder and the other one under your arm, I'm guessing. What now?
I'm gonna head towards the Cathedral District.
You head there. You would get quite a few confused and concerned looks at the fact that you're carrying your mother and a cat. Not from like people who know you necessarily, but rather from like passerbys who are thinking the WTF. Also, another question: do you lock your door?
No.
Okay, duly noted. Do you take anything else from your house?
No.
Okay, duly noted. A guard would probably stop you and ask, "Citizen, does she need medical attention?"
Oh no. She's just drunk.
It's afternoon.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. We can drink whenever we want, right? We are dwarfs.
Give me either a careful or a flashy. I leave it up to you. Carry on, citizen.
Yeah, you carry on as well, citizen.
She looks mildly irritated, but allows you to go past. For convenience's sake, you're heading to a Cathedral District, correct?
Yeah.
I think when you would enter the Cathedral District would be the moment Lyri and Benjamin exit the Ogre Hotel, so you'd be able to see them as they head out. From a distance, that is.
Alright, I'll Yeah, I'll go to the hotel first.
Sure. Benjamin and Lyri, can you both give me carefuls? Benjamin, you definitely notice Bladebeard carrying his mother and his cat coming into the Cathedral District. Like, you glance there and you immediately see them.
What happened to Bladebeard's mother?
I don't know.
I thought you were there.
Yeah, but last I saw, she was, I don't know what was wrong with her. She could have been drunk. Dwarves are drunk, right? I mean, she came with an ex, so she probably wasn't in her right mind.
What?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'm actually not gonna ask. Let's just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So, do the two of you ignore Bladebeard?
Yep.
Yep.
Bladebeard, do you head to them or to the ogres?
To the ogres.
Okay. Then let's check up on Bladebeard entering the Ogre Compound. Again, first thing you notice is the smell, which you're probably used to given the fact that you hang out with Buhd a lot. And then the sounds of ransacking. But as you enter, you would see, whatchamacallit, Buhd and Tomo just like standing there awkwardly.
Oh, hi guys. What's up?
Oh, hello, Captain.
Hello.
Yeah, I got the cat and my mom.
I'm happy.
Oh.
I'm happy. I'm sleepy. This is the cat speaking.
Oh, that cat talks.
Really? Oh yeah. Apparently.
Funny smell. Weird smell. Food around? Tired. Wanna sleep.
Yeah, probably. You might want to keep that cat safe from ogres. I don't want them to eat your talking kitty cat.
Why would they do that? It's a
They're
nice
very
cat.
hungry. They want to eat you. They want to eat Benjamin. They want to eat Lyri. Eat anything. They probably
Well-
eat other ogres. Like they would do it. Like
They can surely try, but I ain't gonna be eaten by no
Well-
ogre.
I'm trying to not have that happen. So try to make yourself unappetizing, and tell them about ham. It seems to really work.
No matter how hard I try, I can't possibly make myself unappetizing. I mean, look at me, Benjamin. Look at me.
Benjamin? This is Tomo asking.
Oh, Buhd, Tamal. I had a drinking battle with my mother, and I didn't drink a lot, but that thing was strong.
Is your mother well?
Yeah, sure. She just, I guess she needs a few hours to sober up.
Well, fortunately, we do have a few hours. The harbor is closed, so we have to wait until it opens back up.
All right. Did you find John?
Well, Lady Lyri told us that he was arrested,
Oh yeah.
and I think she left with Benjamin to get to John. I'm honestly not entirely sure. What do you think, Mr. Buhd?
About the plan?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Benjamin and Lyri are up to be completely honest.
I'm not really sure either, but they usually have good head on shoulder. I think Lyri is going to human school for human knights, and Benjamin's probably doing something really important with his orb thingy. Maybe he's gonna turn into a very important business man or lady. Yeah, that's what I think he's doing.
Wait, he still has the orb?
I gave him the orb.
Oh. Alright.
Yeah.
Well, should I go and help them? Or should I chill here with the ogres?
If you want, I can keep the ogres in check while the both of you go. It shouldn't be too difficult, right?
Well, yeah, you don't even have any meat, so yeah, you're pretty safe. Just don't let them use you as a napkin. Yeah, that's probably smart.
Above board, you'd be aware that like they'd be busy like ransacking for a little while. There probably isn't anything to worry about. Probably.
If they ever get up a deal with you, just say that I give you my blessings, and that you don't taste good.
Well, I think they realize that, pointing at like the fact that like he's somewhat transparent, like underneath the bandages.
Yeah, so the worst they might try to use you as napkin, but they don't usually use napkins. So yeah, you're probably good.
Yeah, make sure they don't eat my cat and my mom.
Oh, Are there any doors I can lock, Mr. Buhd?
I don't really know this place that well.
Above board, I imagine there are. Like, I think every room can be locked, theoretically. It's just that it wasn't really locked until now, with the ogres. This is above board. I'm saying this because, like, you guys helped house the ogres here, so you would know.
Yeah, there's several places to lock, so you should do that.
Okay. Tamal, like, walks up to you, Bladebeard, and, like, motions for you to hand your mom and your cat to him. Well, and then Tamal stops. Well, no, actually, how am I supposed to open the door if my hands are busy? One at a time?
Or I can just put them down in the room and then leave.
Oh, very well. At least let me carry one of them for you.
Alright, here's the cat.
Sleepy. Cold. Don't like this. Don't like this. Oh, this is... Wanna chew. And the cat starts chewing on Tamal as Tamal carries it.
Alright.
Okay. Do you... I'm just fast forwarding. I'm guessing you would find one of the hotel rooms. Probably one that wasn't really used by the ogres for like smell purposes, I suppose, and hygiene purposes. And I'm guessing you would place your mother and the cat there with Tamal.
Yeah.
After you do so, Tamal would start digging into his bag and say to you, Captain, handing you also a fistful of arcane dust. If you ever get in trouble, use this and draw the iron symbol, okay?
Alright.
Above board, you don't know what that is, but you don't have to ask, obviously.
Will do, mate.
Tamal nods and would then return to you downstairs. And yeah, he would then turn again, say to you, Bladebeard and Buhd, well, I'll do my best to keep things safe here. Well, if you run into my former employer, please do not tell him that I am here. Okay?
You don't need to worry about him. I made sure he's away.
Okay.
I trust you. And he like backs away for a little bit. You guys are left to your own devices.
Can I just real quickly try to look at the ogres and learn some of their aspects?
Sure. Generic ogres or a particular named ogre?
Generic ogres.
Okay, give me a careful. Okay. Yeah, the generic ogres only have two aspects. Which one would you like, the high concept or the tertiary? Above board, they're generic creatures, not named creatures, so they don't like get all the spiel of having a fledged out character sheet, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I still think that it will be fun to compel them. Yeah, let's go with high concept.
Okay. Their high concept, let me look it up for a second, so I have the exact name in hand. Yep, their high concept is a brutish, hungry ogre. Go figure.
Alright. A nice bunch of ogres you have, bud.
Yup, they're my people.
Alright, let's find Lyri and Benjamin.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys head out. Bladebeard, you saw that they went in the direction of the trade district, but I don't think you know. Oh, you don't really know because Buhd and Tomo didn't really know about their destination afterwards.
Alright, we'll try to find them. First, we'll go to the trade district.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go to the Trader District.
Let's check up then on Lyri and Benjamin. What are you guys up to? You're just you're heading to the trade district. What's your like intended path, I should ask?
The outer route, right?
You guys decide.
I guess Lyri decides, since she's the one sort of dragging me.
Yeah, we'll take the outer route around the canal.
Okay. Yeah, you'd hear. Well, how much attention are you paying to like people like talking, chatting, gossiping, etc.?
Nuri's looking out for anything she can snatch while walking by, so I'm not really paying attention to what people say.
Mm-hmm. Benjamin?
I guess it's just keeping a look around. See if
Can both
anyone is following them.
Can both of you give me carefuls? Benjamin, you're a bit distracted. Lyri, with that roll, yeah, I think you'd be able to see like two noble women, a couple with like some expensive jewelry hanging a bit too loosely, let's say, that you might be able to pick off.
Not really what I wanted, but what's the harm?
Above board, can you tell me what you were looking for specifically?
A pen, like some kind of quill. With no.
Okay.
I forgot what the actual term is. A pen, basically, just something to write with.
Okay. With that roll, no, but you do see like these distracted noble women, and you know that you'll get more chances to look around. Okay.
Lyri was expecting to get some at the SI7 place anyway, so she's not too bothered.
So
she'll try and take some of it. Yeah, she'll try and take a little jewel here and there with her free hand.
Okay. First things first. How are you doing this regarding Benjamin being right next to you?
Lyri doesn't like give any indication of this happening. She just kind of, with her free hand, is just gonna try and pluck it off like a single
So
normal action, I guess.
so you're like, as the two of you are walking by these two noble women, you just like quickly snatch it and then be on your way.
Yeah, quickly snatch it while walking, so it doesn't look like I've made a stop. Yeah.
Can you give me a sneaky? Okay, yeah, definitely. You definitely succeed. I leave the choice of jewelry up to you with that roll, because you rolled higher than like the difficulty I set. So, anything in mind?
Not particularly. Just something that Lyri can pawn off later. So like, whatever is expensive enough to, justify an 8 roll, I'm fine with that.
I think these two noble women, at least one of them, you can clearly see that they just came from like a shopping spree, and they have like a bag over her shoulder that she's not paying any attention to, as they're like talking to each other and gossiping or whatever. And you're able to like quickly place your hand in there, take something and take it back, and you would find yourself probably with some ruby bracelet, and probably like a ring, a diamond ring. Or not diamond, let's say emerald ring.
Lyri will give her I can't think of a word. She'll give him a look and then kind of look forward again on the path ahead.
Because of your role, the women don't notice what you did.
Awesome.
Benjamin, if you'd like to roll careful to potentially notice. With your stunt applying, I guess. Very close. That's a 7 to Lyri's 8. Up to you if you want to improve your roll.
No.
Okay. Lyri, you now have a ruby bracelet and an emerald ring in your hand. Up to you where you place them or what you do with them.
Lyri, I guess, Lyri, as she's walking, reaches into her bag and places them, and then takes out the note she got from the SI7 people.
What do you guys do now? Like the floor is yours. You said you weren't paying attention to any gossip or whatever. If you want to talk about anything, if you want to do anything, do let me know. Okay.
Lyri just kind of is on a one-track mind to getting John out, so she won't look for anything, I guess.
Benjamin?
Nothing particular, really.
What's the pace you guys are walking at? Casual stroll? Are you in a bit of a hurry? Up to you.
Depends how much Benjamin is resisting being pulled.
I'm not really resistant yet.
Lyri will be like fast walking then at this point.
So you're okay. I sort of envisioned that like Benjamin would have like stopped being pulled and would have like walked beside you, but it's up to you if like you've been pulling Benjamin all the while. If you are pulling Benjamin, you'll probably see like a few random people like look at you and start whispering, gossiping. Yeah, you'll look like some kind of couple, I suppose.
No, okay.
Before we continue, Bladebeard and Buhd, as you go to look for Lyri and Benjamin, what's the pace you guys are walking at?
Unless Buhd has anything to say about it, I would go pretty slowly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Bud's really gonna go speeding around Stormwind, as amusing as that would look.
Okay, so we're not gonna roll. It's quite clear that Benjamin and Lyri will outpace Bladebeard and Buhd. Okay. Also feel free to move your tokens around, but Yeah, do you, Benjamin and Lyri, do you talk about anything, etc., while you're heading to the SI7 place? Old Town specifically?
Not really.
Okay.
Only somewhere.
Okay. Then let's check up on Bladebeard and Buhd. You've entered the trade district. How much attention are you paying to, also same question I asked Benjamin and Lyri, how much attention are you paying to like people gossiping or talking to each other?
Yeah, let's say that Bladebeard is paying attention.
Can Bladebeard give me a careful then? You get like people talking about the incident at the harbor. Definitely. You'd get people talking about a possible rat infestation in the Dwarven district. You'd get people talking about like some dwarven couple, like a younger dwarf and an older female dwarf that apparently she was unconscious and carried over the dwarf's shoulder. Some ambiguous stuff there. You also hear about another couple of like a human and a high elf or something heading towards the old town. Lots of rumors all around.
Nothing about a certain dwarf fighting a demon and saving the kingdom.
Nope.
Shame. Alright.
What about Buzz? Do you care at all about rumors or such?
I think that if Bladebeard and Buhd aren't talking, then Buhd would probably look around in boredom.
You would see, like, people tend to like avoid looking at you directly, and you'd see like some people look very concerned about you, given the fact that like all the crazy stuff has been happening in Stormwind today. Nobody will like bother you or anything like that, but you do get the feeling that you're perhaps a bit unwelcome.
Stormwind City not very welcoming place so far.
I mean, I think it's pretty alright. It's kinda, at the same time, it's the best city ever, but also the worst city ever. So yeah.
I prefer Goblin cities so far. Much more welcoming. Although they always trying to sell me something.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, this is Stormwind City, where grass is green and girls are pretty.
Screw you. Joking.
Alright, so where are we going, bud?
I thought you knew where we were going.
Aren't we following Lyri and Benjamin Aaran?
I think they said something about Trade District, but that's about it.
Oh, that's good. We are in Trade District.
It is good. I think they also said something about Old Town too.
There is a barber shop here. If you want a haircut, or a horn cut, or change your face.
I don't really have much hair, Bladebeard.
Yeah.
And not much horn either.
Yeah, I guess.
Sounds painful. Who'd want to go into a place for hair cutting just to get their horn cut? That's weird.
Well, the whole world is weird, bud.
That's true. This place is really weird.
You hear the scream of a woman, and as you turn to look, you see two noble women. One of them is panicking, saying something that, my bracelet and ring are missing. Thief! Thief! But like, she looks around in a panic, like not knowing what thief, who, etc. They're a bit far away from you, so you're not like in danger of being accused or anything. Just FYI.
Oh look, bud. Ladies need our help.
a mystery. We could be mystery solvers.
Aye. Yeah.
Let's go help them.
Alright, but I call the dibs on the one with bigger tits.
Okay. I want to solve a mystery.
Fine, you can have that one. I'll take the other.
Only I had one of those cigar bubbles. That makes me look very mysterious and smart.
Do you guys approach the two women?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, well, one more than the other is currently panicking. The other is just looking around, and you would see that, like, a nearby guard has noticed this and is starting to walk up to the scene, but you guys will reach it first. And as you approach, the woman who was panicking sees you, Buhd, and lets out a loud scream.
Oh, no, calm down. I'm here to help you investigate your missing thing.
Don't worry. We are here to help.
It's a demon! It's a demon! And she starts running away.
A demon? Where?
I think she means me. I'm not a demon. I'm an ogre.
Come back, Marfa. It's just an ogre. It's just an ogre. An ogre? She walks back up to you guys and says, "An ogre? How deviant. Do you know something? Do you know something about who robbed me?"
That's what we're here to help. We're gonna solve it.
Are you with the Stormwind Guard? And the other lady will say, "No, he's an ogre, Marfa. Ogres are not with the Stormwind Guard. They're with the Deep-Run Tram crew. You know, those big things." "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, Betty. You know, the big things with Betty now also looks confused at you.
Well, I helped the Stormwind Guard before.
But that's good enough, right, Marfa? I don't know, Betty. And what are you, dwarf? What are you wearing? That's very bizarre.
Oh, this is my sailor outfit. I'm a sailor.
You're an actual sailor?
Aye. Yeah, I sailed all over Azeroth.
I never thought I'd see one of those in my lifetime. Oh, calm down, Marfa. You know your sister sees them all the time. Oh, shut up. I think at this point the guard would come up to you guys and say, "Is there a problem, citizens?" Looking at Buhd.
Oh yes, her thing is missing, and we want to help her find it.
Right. Are you with the ogres I've heard about? He like puts a hand on his sword. Do you need to be escorted?
No, I am the leader of the ogres. I help liberate them.
But we are friends with King Varian. I fought a demon with him.
And I am Captain Buhd.
Can one of you give me Flashy with the other assisting?
Which one of us is gonna do it, Bladebeard?
You go. You have
I'll go.
one more than me.
Alright. Bud has a very good flashy.
Holy shit, that is a critical hit. So, you stun this guard that you can tell that you can convince him of pretty much anything you want. He just stares dumbfounded, and like that dumbfounded turns more and more into just awe. And Marta will say, "Excuse me, guard, Yes, ma'am. What can I help you with? So, I was out shopping here with Betty because we need to get a wedding gift for Biggie's wedding. But you know how she is, how she doesn't like emeralds, and well, I insisted on buying emeralds, but Betty over here said no, rubies are better, and she will continue on this tirade for a little while.
Wait. I have an idea. I can help you. I am very good at finding stuff.
He really is.
Oh, what was stolen?
I was just getting there. So, as I said, we needed to get some gifts for Biggie's wedding, but we also had to worry about Jenny's birthday because you know it's coming up, and you know how she can be. So we went to the jeweler shop, but then Betty over here said no, flowers are more in season. But I was like, flowers they can die so quickly. No, jewelry's the better thing. But no, Betty over here was like, well, if not flowers, then we should go buy some fancy clothing. But I was like, no, jewelry is the better option. And Betty here was like, well, you know how Jenny is. You can't bring her any rubies. Well, then we should bring her emeralds. Well, no, you have to bring her rubies, she said, and she'll continue on with that little tirade.
Bladebeard just like nods agreeingly.
Buhd, do you interrupt?
I'm a little lost.
Okay. Can both of you give me carefuls, I guess, to see how much you understood of that?
Huh?
Nothing. Let me roll for the guard too, actually.
Oh, he did better than us.
A ruby bracelet and an emerald ring. Right. Or the other way around. Where was this stolen, ma'am? Well, the shop was over there in the Mage Quarter, but then we wandered out a little bit to the ruins of the park. But then we wandered a bit to the old town. But then we went back to the Trade District, because you know Betty just likes her walks along the Trade District. Right. So, Park, Mage Quarter, Trade District, or Old Town. Right. Do you know? Have you seen the thief? Any clues? I'm gonna roll to see if they make the connection that Lyri was the thief or not. It'll be a very difficult roll.
Oh.
No, they didn't meet the difficulty. They'll say, "Oh, there was this gentleman over the Mage Quarter," and then Betty will say, "No, it has to have been that dwarf over in the Old Town. No, it has to have been that beggar in the Trade District. Oh, we passed by a beggar? How gross! Oh, I know, right?" Right, says the guard, and looks at the two of you, Bladebeard and Buhd. Did any ideas?
Yeah, I mean, they are beggars. They are kind of gross, but you know, you can't always win in life.
What if
They
it
should
was
probably
a
become
ghost?
sailors.
Oh, well, they coulda. I mean, sailing is pretty great.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, Martha, right? I, Captain Bladebeard, and Captain Buhd will help you find your ring.
Wait, you're a captain too? Says Betty. Oh no, only the dwarf over here has to be a captain, because he's the sailor, right? And sailors are captains, right? Oh no. This one is with the Deeper and Tramp people. Are the Deeper and Tramp people captains? Oh, you're clearly mistaken. And they start like gossiping again, very not really paying attention.
Alright, wait here. We'll be back soon. Alright?
Oh, right. Well, if you find those, please bring them to the Mirren Estate, okay?
Mirror
Where
Estate?
is that?
What do you mean, where's that? Don't you know where the Mirren Estate is? Peasants.
Hey,
Well,
I'm not a peasant. I'm a captain.
Right, Marfa, he's a sailor. He told you. Oh, sailors. What even is it there out there to sail? How can they not know where the Mirren estate is? I don't know, Marfa, but these gentlemen are trying to help us. We should be accommodating. But how do they not know where the estate is? And Betty just shrugs, clearly as confused.
Don't worry, we'll find it. Both the ring and the estate.
I don't know where that is either, says the guard. Well, you're just an ignoramus. But alright, thank you, dearies, and Marfa will depart, and Betty will give both of you a wave before leaving with Marfa.
Alright, I'll ask the mysterious creature in my head, where is the necklace? Can you help me? Bro.
Yeah, sure. Give me a moment.
Oh my goodness. Buhd and Bladebeard's side adventure. To be fair, I did miss this.
Me too. Such a piece of ordinary jewelry in the hands of an accursed one, touched by the void, the light, the arcane, and the fell.
When I asked him where the stone of the tides was, he was kind of magically leading me to it. Does this happen here as well?
Because it's your stunt, sure. I'd say you get like a pull in the direction of the old town.
Alright, bud. Let's go. Let's sail away.
okay, I'll go get a boat.
Wait. Hold on. You know where this is? This is the god speaking.
I have an idea.
Well, how do you have this idea?
I am something of a wizard myself.
Oh, he's a wizard captain.
Because of the previous flashy role, and he's just awestruck of you guys, so he will not question this. Say, all right, do you need me to come with, or should I go file the report?
Whatever you wanna do, man. What's your name, by the way?
Fuck. Why am I having a hard time thinking of like a banal name? Chris. Private
Wanna
Chris.
come with Chris? There are only two ladies, unfortunately.
What's that got to do with anything? Do you? Well, I really should file the report, but well, to be frank, you guys are awesome. So I don't know.
Then
You are
then
pretty
come
awesome.
with. Come with, man. Just chillax.
Okay, he will come with, but keep like a respectful, let's say, distance behind you guys, and like he's trying to look at you without seeming like he's looking at you. He is starstruck because of that previous role.
Amazing.
Where do you head?
To the wherever the pool is.
So Old Town. Let's check up on the pool. Benjamin and Lyri. As you head into the Old Town, again, same question. Do you do or say anything? Do you look for anything, etc., etc.?
Lyri continues to look for any kind of quill she can nab and use, but that's about it.
Then give me a careful, please. With that roll, I'll say that you probably pass by a few like parchment shops or inscription shops, etc., like places where you'd find quills, but you don't see them, like, say, in the hands of a passerby or whatever.
You think they'd have a quill at the SA7 offices, Benjamin?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm sure they file like a lot of reports there. So
It'd be awkward if I couldn't fill out my paperwork. Very
Well,
kind of shrugs.
I'm sure guards probably walk around with pens, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Lyri, having the confirmation that there's probably going to be a quill at the SA7 office to write stuff with, she's going to move a bit faster towards the old town SA7 place.
Sure. Still dragging Benjamin?
Yeah.
By the way, Benjamin, are you being dragged, or do you like try to keep pace, just like, oh, Lyri has a hold of my hand now?
I try to keep pace.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you continue to get the whispers of the passerbys. Lyri, Zelris rather, answered this question, but Thompshire, Benjamin, do you also like do or say anything or look for something or etc., etc.?
No, not really. I just keeping an eye out.
Give me a careful as well. Not sufficient with that roll. Okay. You are unable to detect any trouble. You head into the old town. Lyri, can you give me a careful? This will not be a difficult roll, but rather this is just to see how well... Okay. I think it's sufficient because you've been there before to know where the SI7 headquarters are. You just probably like take a wrong turn at one point, but then manage to correct yourself, etc., etc. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So eventually you guys would reach the sort of clearing in the southeast, where the SI7 and the barracks is. Lyri, by the way, you were told to report to the Old Town Barracks, not to the SI7, just above board information. But it's up to you guys what you do now.
Right. Let's go into the SI7 place, Benjamin, and get this sorted out.
Sure.
Okay. When you approach, you will see a guardsman, sort of stop you and say, what business do you have here?
We're looking to talk to the, Benjamin, what's her name?
Miracle.
Yes.
Do you have an appointment? What's this about?
We need some paperwork done because, we're about to leave. I mean, we're meant to be organizing, like, the ogres leaving the city, but one of our crewmates is currently detained for being slightly undead, and we'd like to get some paperwork filed to get him out of jail so we can depart when the time comes.
Can you give me a flashy with Benjamin assisting you? Oh, you're with the ogres. My apologies. Yes, please, come this way. Miracle should be giving her report at the moment, but if you wait for a little bit, I'm sure she'll be able to meet you.
Thank you.
And the guard allows you to walk in.
Lyri kind of shoots a smirk at Benjamin. See?
Whatever happened to not having a way with words?
You implying I didn't have a way of words before?
Well, you just told me to go because I have a way with words, didn't you?
I did.
Well, you just handled the situation without even letting me open my mouth.
Well, Lyri just kind of shrugs.
Fair enough. Let's just get this done.
The guard was. I would have told you before you left. Just take a seat in the main room, and when you see Mirka, should be able to see her fairly easily. Feel free to walk up to her.
Thank you.
Yeah, when you'd enter the main room of the SI7 headquarters, it's a very unassuming room. I guess the one thing that's that catches your attention is the fact that none of the rooms are labeled. But other than that, it looks like a very ordinary sort of civil office, let's say, like an office room, if that makes sense.
All right, Benjamin, you keep an eye out for the for our friend, right?
Yeah. Are you gonna sleep or something?
I'm just not the best with faces, that's all.
Well, it's a gnome. I assume there's not many of them around.
You don't know that. Maybe there are.
A gnome walks by, looks at you guys, and continues walking.
Never mind.
I told you. Lyri looks around if there's anything to entertain herself with.
Give me a careful. Looks like the more you look, the emptier the place seems.
What kind of waiting room doesn't have magazines?
This place is incredibly formal.
Well, they're training your patients. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Since you are taking a bit of a rest, I will remove your stress, Lyri, okay?
Awesome.
But yeah, what do you guys do, or do you look for, except Mirka, anyone in particular, anything like that? I will mention, just for context's sake, that you do see people walking around from room to room. Some are exiting the compound altogether, some are walking in. A few of them give you a glance what are you doing there, but they assume that it's alright for you guys to be there, so they are not pestering you or anything. It's people of all, well, not all, but most of the Alliance races that you would see. And they're most of them are dressed in casual clothing. You don't see anyone that screams, "I'm a military person" or whatever.
So we're just waiting now?
I guess.
Great. Lyri just kind of sits there bored.
You will not be disturbed until you would see Mirka emerge. So do let me know if you do or anything like that before we check up on Bladebeard and Buhd.
You know, I really need to. Right. You know, it'd be really awkward having to re-explain myself to go back in. I probably should have checked in at the barracks first.
Well, you can just leave and I'll meet you elsewhere.
Okay. Back at the cathedral, right?
Maybe. Depends. Do you want to come with to the stockades, or should I just handle that?
You should handle that. I think I look a bit too uncanny. Maybe it'll make them trust you less.
Fair enough then.
Right. Okay, I'll see you later then.
Alright, don't hit your head on the way back.
Handle John with careful arms and a heart of gold or whatever. Lyri just kind of waves and walks out his A7 building.
Okay. And I sort of just give a light wave.
Wait, above board, are you both leaving the SI7 building or not?
No.
Lyri is.
Wait, I'm waving at Lyri, like, no, bye.
And Lyri's leaving.
Yeah, Lyri's going to the barracks.
Okay. The barracks is like right next door, so you'd be able to head there. You'd also be greeted by a guard who asks, what's your business here, citizen?
Lyri takes out the little thing from her pocket and kind of weighs in and says,
Bobor, what's the little thing? I'm sorry.
the little notice telling her to go to the barracks.
He takes it from you and says, okay, who wrote this?
Who wrote this? I mean, it says who it's from at the bottom, right?
No. Above board, it's not like an official note. It's just like a little scribbling that Mirka made that said, oh, by the way, Lyri should head there at this hour.
It's Mirka made it. The gnome. She wrote this up.
Let me do a roll to see if the guy knows who Mirka is. Mirka, the gnome, the one that sells bread in the trade district, the mute one.
The one that works next door. And Lyri kind of like points back to the SI7 building.
Wait, so Mirka, the nice lady who sells bread, is actually with... Why would you tell me this?
Why would you ask?
It's my job to keep people in or out. Are you... Wait, let's backtrack. Why do you want to come here just because Mirka says you should get here?
Because I was told to come here because I was... Surely you know who I am, right? I was in the Royal Keep a few nights ago.
My shift is here. I'm sorry. Not at the keep.
The keep's... Lyri just points up to the keep. The keep's right there. How do you not hear any news from there?
Let me do another roll to see if he has heard any news from there. I'm sorry, this is my post, not over there. If you have business, we can I can come with you to the front desk and maybe they'll sort you out, but I can't allow you to go further in than that without official.
Sure. I'm fine. Front desk. We can do that.
Very well, very well. And the guard would escort you to the front desk of the barracks building, where you would see a female gnome working on what looks to be above board a typewriter. In character, you have no idea what that is. And she doesn't even glance in your direction and says, name and purpose of visit?
Sinilary Ambasaro.
The new conscript. Room 2B to your left.
Thanks. Lyri kind of...
You're early. You were told to report here at 1800 hours.
Well, I like waiting.
Then wait.
Better to wait inside than wait out there in the cold, right?
This is not a waiting room, ma'am. I will ask you to politely return at 1800 hours.
Didn't you just tell me to go to a room? Now you tell me to leave?
Go to the room at 1800 hours in an hour and 47 minutes from now.
Okay, but can I at least use the restroom, please? I've walked all this way here.
Give me a flashy.
No.
There are plenty of publicly available restrooms in the city of Stormwind.
Yeah, but he just kind of looks at the god and kind of has a dead-eyed kind of run out face.
Well, she seems fine to me, Minnie. I'm sure she can wait. This is not a waiting room. Well, I know, but this is not a waiting room. The guard looks to you and shrugs, says, I can bring you a chair and you can wait outside, I guess. No theft of Stormwind military property. It's just outside, man. It's
Wait. Could you give me like a pen? I need to write down this date. Like when do I need to come back? How many hours?
The gnome lets out a deep sigh, the typical sigh of a government bureaucrat, and hands you a pen and mutters, "How archaic." 1800 hours, an hour and 45 minutes and 38 seconds from now.
Lyri quickly scribbles something out and hands back the pen.
She takes it from you. All the while, she has not been looking in either of your directions above board.
All right. Well, thanks.
Does not reply.
Lyri kind of looks to God. All right, I'll be back in an hour, 45 minutes, or however long this is. I don't even know what time it is.
An hour, 44 minutes, and 52 seconds.
Okay. Lyri just kind of backs up and heads outside.
The guard shrugs and says, well, take care out there.
Mm-hmm.
Where to now, Lyri?
Lyri looks at what she wrote down. Then she double checks it. Then she puts it back in her bag. Right, how am I gonna do this?
Above board, will you let us know what you wrote down, or would you like to keep it a secret?
I'll keep it a secret for now.
Okay.
I could try and go back in with Benjamin, but that'd be odd. I'll just burn some time at the cathedral, I guess. Lyri starts heading out towards the to go from the Dwarven District into the Cathedral District.
Somewhere, someone named John starts crying, but okay. So,
Benjamin could go help John.
This wasn't me telling you to do that. This was just an aside. Okay. You head back towards the Cathedral District. Shall we check up on Bladebeard and Buhd?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Bladebeard and Buhd. Bladebeard, you're sort of following the ambiguous direction that the thing in your head told you about. But other than that, what are you guys doing or talking about, or if you're looking for something or someone, etc., etc.? Are you with us, DoomGoblin and Skoll?
Yeah, I am.
Yep.
Okay.
So here's the plan, bud. I think I'm gonna take Betty. You know, it feels kind of weird flirting with someone called the same name as my mother moments after I saw her naked. Although she's gorgeous, right? Not my mother, Martha, the rich woman.
The guard who has been following you stops in your tracks, shakes his head, and then continues following.
You don't agree? You prefer Betty?
No, I was more distracted about the mother thing. Carry on. Above board, his starstruck level has decreased by 1. Not that that really matters, but go on.
All right, so that's the plan, bud.
Okay. What about finding her gem or whatever?
Yeah, I'm doing that. Just follow me.
Oh, okay. Sound like a plan.
I'll continue following.
But I'm guessing you go with Bladebeard?
Yep.
Okay. Then I should ask Lyri Zelris. You're heading to a Cathedral District. What path are you choosing?
She's gonna go through the Dwarven District because she doesn't want to retrace her steps in case they notice the thing was stolen.
Mm-hmm.
So we are playing mouse and cat throughout Stormwind.
Pretty much. Well, can I ask both of you, both groups rather, what pace are you guys walking at?
Let's say that we are kind of fast walking, right, bud?
Yeah.
Lyri, what pace are you walking at? Zelris?
Oh, Mary's walking pretty fast because she needs to make sure that she gets back to the cathedral with plenty of time to spare so she can take a little drink, relax, and wait for the time to go down.
Mm-hmm. Then can Bladebeard, Buhd, and Lyri roll me quicks, and we'll average out between Bladebeard and Buhd? Okay, so 5 to Lyri's 3. Okay, I'll move your tokens on the map to where I think your approximate positions will be before the next roll, okay?
Alright.
Well, I'll only move Bladebeard, not Buhd as well, but yeah. Okay, so you're both at the bridges that lead to the Old Town and to a Dwarven District respectively, and Bladebeard, you get the inkling that your quote-unquote target is moving, because you were supposed to head like southeast, now you're supposed to head northeast, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just say out loud. The target is moving. It's going... What direction did you say?
Northeast.
Northeast.
How do you know that? Says the guard.
Magic, mate.
Do you already know who it is?
No. Well, what did the thing say? Accursed something?
An accursed wanderer. I think the word it used was touched by the void, the light, what's the other, the arcane and the fell.
Someone that got touched a lot. But I don't know more than that. I'm sorry.
If they are not if they are not in the right state of mind, it usually means that they get away scot-free.
Alright, let's just find them first, right?
Right, Mr. Wizard, sir. Sailor Wizard, sir.
Captain,
Sailor Wizard, sir.
Alright, let's go. Bud, Chris.
But do you go?
Yeah.
Can I get another round of quicks from you guys? Zelris 2? Okay, so Bladebeard and Buhd are slightly faster. Okay. Lyri, you're going also along the outer path to the Cathedral District?
Yeah.
Okay. Bladebeard, can you roll me a careful? Okay. That roll tells me all I need to know. Okay. You get the inkling that, as you're closing in, that the person is heading to the Cathedral District, Bladebeard.
Oh, damn it! The thief is going to the church, the cathedral place.
How do you know? Should I? This is Chris speaking. Should I get some guards to quarter that section off?
Can you?
Of course. Well, if we move fast enough.
We should probably do that. I guess. It sounds like a plan.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Chris will run away backwards, above board towards the guard post, but you don't really know that. Okay.
Nice fella.
Mm-hmm. Very, very nice. He seemed very impressed by Buhd.
Yeah, better than that Michael guy. He didn't even listen to me. I told him all about Clovis and stuff, but he wasn't interested. Daniel was fine as well. Fine lad.
Do you guys continue on your way?
Yeah.
Can I get another round of quicks from Bladebeard, Buhd, and Lyri? Okay, so that's 4.5. Okay. Lyri, you would have entered the Cathedral District. Bladebeard, your suspicions are proven right, as you can clearly tell that the individual has entered the Cathedral District. As you continue following them, you get the inkling that you're very slowly closing in, but you still have a bit of ways to go. They're moving pretty fast. Lyri, what do you do now that you've arrived at the Cathedral District?
Lyri goes to the building the ogres are housed in.
Let's say you get there, and when you enter, you continue to hear the sounds of ransacking, and you see Tomo sitting in a chair reading a magazine. You can clearly tell that he doesn't know how to read common because he's holding it upside down.
Lyri walks up to Tomo. Hey Tomo, where are Buhd and Bladebeard?
Oh, Lady Lyri. They left looking for you and Mr. Benjamin.
Mr. Benjamin's in the old town, getting John out. That's weird. Well, if you see them, tell them that I'm here now. I have this note that I want them to receive, preferably Benjamin, because I know how Bladebeard is with tearing up notes, and I don't think Buhd can read common. But here, Lyri kind of hands him the note.
Certainly. He takes it and tries to look at it and says, this isn't not a script I can read. But very well, I'll keep it safe.
Do you know where the restroom is in this place?
You might not want to use one in this place, as you hear a loud ogre fart.
Right. Any free rooms I can rest in?
There's one room, but it's not free per se. Bladebeard's mother and his cat are in there.
Okay. I'll Is there really no 3 rooms? I need to rest. Let me think.
Would you like me to bring you a chamber pot? I won't look.
No. I'll find somewhere to get some peace and quiet.
Very well. I'll stay here. Keep the place safe. And if I see Benjamin, I'll remember to pass the note on to him.
Are there any quiet corners of this building where it's nice and closed off, so where you can kind of take a little break?
The room where Bladebeard's mother and the cat are. Other than that, the ogres are currently busy ransacking, so technically the rooms are free, but they can also return at any point.
Lyri looks. Are there any locks on these doors?
Technically yes, but these are also ogres.
I haven't tried putting a magical ward on a door like this. Maybe I could try.
Try not to set it on fire.
That's a fair point. That'd be a bad idea. The ogres would be blamed for that, probably. Alright. I will find somewhere to rest up.
Very well. If I can help you with anything, I will be here. Welcome back,
Right.
DoomGoblin. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, and we can hear you. Okay.
Great.
Lyri will kind of head out of the Cathedral District and look for any, like, little street corner or little alley she can take a little rest in.
Okay. Well, because of all the quicks, as you exit the Ogre Compound, hotel, etc., Bladebeard and Buhd, I think this would be the point where you would enter the Cathedral District from the Dwarven District. And if following where the magical thingamajig in your head leads, it seems to lead towards the Ogre Compound.
My magical thingy is telling me that the thief is in there.
Well, let's go get them.
Oh, that's where the ogres are. We just made a circle.
Maybe they're gonna steal the ogres.
Oh. Yeah, let's see if everyone's fine.
And as you approach, I think this would be the point that Lyri would exit the quote-unquote hotel, and yeah, you three would see each other.
Oh, hey, Buhd. Hey, Bladebeard.
Oh, hello.
Hey,
What are you doing here?
we are searching for a
Bladebeard,
thief.
it's clearly pointing at Lyri.
What?
Above board, it's the thing in your head is clearly indicating that Lyri is what you're looking for.
Oh. Lyri, have you stolen anything recently?
No. I did find this. Lyri kind of calculates in her head which piece of jewelry would be worth less. Can she, like, figure that out?
Give me a clever.
Okay.
But above board, I don't know which is more expensive, rubies or emeralds, so give me a moment. Oh, actually I think it would be the emerald that's cheaper, because it's only one piece versus the ruby bracelet that's filled with multiple pieces. But because you rolled very, very poorly, you would assume that the emerald ring is more expensive.
Right, this, I actually, found this bracelet on someone. Someone on the floor, like a beggar, so I took it. I mean, no one cares about beggars, right? Why, do you
I
want
don't
it?
care about beggars, but no.
Lyri kind of takes it out and hands it to Bladebeard.
Well, this kind of awkward. Me and Buhd, we need those, the necklace and the ring.
I don't have I only have this. I took this from a beggar.
Don't lie, Lyri. Lying ain't nothing but a sin.
I'm not lying. I've handed you the thing I have.
I know you're lying. My magical ghost told me.
Right. Well, I have somewhere to be. I need to go to the restroom. if you see these magical ghosts, can you tell him that Benjamin has something waiting for him in the main building? Thanks.
Magical ghost?
Or we'll
Yeah.
kind of turn away and start to walk away.
The thing in your head still points you in the direction of Lyri, so it's like wherever Lyri goes, it's like pointing you in that direction, Bladebeard.
Can I kind of sneakily follow her a bit and then try to pickpocket
Sure.
the stuff?
Then, well, before we roll, what's Buhd doing?
Bud's looking around very confused.
Understandable. What do you do when you see Lyri head off and Bladebeard start sneaking after her?
Bladebeard, are we supposed to be trying to find the thief?
Yeah. Just wait here. I'll be back real soon.
Okay. Bud's waiting here again.
Here I go again. Then Bladebeard, give me a sneaky and Lyri give me a careful. Okay. I think the results speak for themselves. Lyri, where do you head?
Harry's heading towards a bathroom or restroom. Like anywhere there'll be a restroom, she's heading towards there.
There'd probably be one in the cathedral. And probably some of the shops might have restrooms. But most of the places have like the chamber pot system.
Right.
So do you head to a random shop or to the cathedral?
Lyri is very hesitant of the cathedral, so I think she probably heads like a random shop.
Any preference about what the random shop might be selling?
Something that's kind of viewed as high class because they're more likely to have an actual bathroom in Lyri's eyes.
Good point. Yeah, you'd probably enter a clothing shop then, and as you enter and the bell rings, the proprietor, a male human, will yell, "Welcome. A bit busy here. Come to the counter. Let me know what I can help you with."
Right. Could I perhaps, perchance, use your bathroom after I make a transaction?
Sure. Make a transaction first. What are you looking to buy?
Oh, I'm looking to buy. Lyri kind of looks around for the cheapest thing she can find.
Give me a careful. You'd probably be able to, with that, you'd probably be able to find like this shop does sell expensive clothing, but it also like sells cheaper clothing as well. Like it covers all ranges. So you'd probably be able to see like say a shawl for a couple copper, for example.
Okay. Lyri takes that. Lyri pulls out a little bag of silver that she has. And is like, she kind of hands it over.
Oh,
Hey, could I perchance buy this?
sure. Let me give you the change. And he starts counting out copper coins very slowly.
You know, you don't have to give me change. I'm not strapped for cash right now.
No, it's the law. I'm sorry.
It's the law?
Yep.
Great.
I have to give change. I'm very sorry.
Could I at least go to the restroom while you're counting change? It seems to be taking a long time.
Give me a flashy. Or a careful, up to you. Sorry, I have to make sure everything's in order. 1 piece, 2 pieces.
Everything's in order.
4 pieces.
I'm gonna
5 pieces.
I'm gonna piss myself in your establishment. Let me in the bathroom.
I lost count because of you. Give me a moment. 1 piece, 2 pieces.
Great.
3 pieces.
While he's busy distracting, Louis just gonna like look for the bathroom.
Give me a careful. Yeah, you instantly realize where it is with that critical hit. And he's busy counting at the moment.
Lyri will sneakily just walk in and go do her business.
Give me a sneaky.
Okay.
Okay, that's definitely sufficient. While that happens, Bladebeard, you saw Lyri enter the store.
Alright, I'll like hide somewhere like by the door, and once she leaves, I'll try to steal the things.
Sure. Lyri, after you finish your business.
Oh no, she's doing something else in the restaurant.
Oh, my bad. What are you doing?
All right. Is there a lock on the door? That's the first thing I look for.
Let's see. I'll roll dice to see. Yep.
All right. So Benjamin will get the letter. John will be freed. Everyone in the crew is there. All things accounted for. And then she takes out the arcane powder and she's like, "All right, how did Tamal arrange this?" And she tries to remember how Tamal arranged it back then, or said to arrange it.
Okay. Give me trying to determine, I guess, a clever with your stunt applying. Yeah, you'd remember the pattern.
This should be it. Well, it's time for some new scenery. And hopefully it'll be easier to leave that place than leaving this one. Lyri will proceed to start teleporting
Okay.
to wherever Area 52 is.
Okay. I guess we know which direction our campaign is going next. Okay. Bladebeard, Lyri is taking a weirdly long time.
Alright, I'll...
Like, you can come to your own, like, stereotypes about women going to clothing stores, but this is long even for that standard.
Yeah, I grow impatient. I'll enter.
Wait, is she in the process of teleporting, or has she teleported yet?
The teleportation thing will be pretty quick, and Lyri succeeded in her role, so she will teleport.
So it's already gonna happen, it's inevitable.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay. Sure.
At most, this is to see if Bladebeard witnesses that or not.
Alright.
Well, I guess it's too late to compel Lyri out of it.
Well, if you want, we can rewind. Well, what are Zelris' thoughts? I don't want to, like, force Zelris into anything.
Lyri's thoughts is that this is going as planned. She will not budge on this.
Okay, fair enough. I guess, Benjamin, Thompshire, if you want to think of a compel, now is your last chance before we continue checking up on Bladebeard.
I mean, I was thinking of like compelling her military bloodline aspects, as in like if there's even like a shred of that in her, that maybe she would consider actually going to her appointment.
It's up to Zelris if she accepts that. She can refuse, obviously. Up to her.
For reasons I haven't explained yet, no, that won't like influence her at all.
Mm-hmm. Then you will lose one of your fate points. But continuing on with Bladebeard, you will see.
Can I? Actually, no, never mind.
As you enter the shop, you see a pretty irate shopkeeper saying, excuse me, customer, there's a lady in the restroom and she shouldn't be there, but It's a lady in the restroom. I can't.
Don't worry. I'll take care of it.
In the name of public decency, I can't allow that, good sir. I apologize.
She's a friend of mine. Don't worry.
Give me a careful or a flashy.
Let's go with flashy.
Fine, but you can't come in. Just speak to her from the door, please.
Alright. Oi, Lyri, come out. Come on.
Lyri, as you're about to finish the spell, you hear Bladebeard shouting. You can continue if you'd like, or...
Lyri does not pay any mind.
Okay.
She has a one-track mind on this.
Bladebeard, like a couple seconds after you say that, you don't hear a reply, and you hear what sounds like a magical sound thingy, a border teleportation sound, which is kind of hard to describe. I don't think you've ever been teleported before.
And I imagine that the magical pool disappears.
Well, you're outside the room where she's in, so you don't see what's going on inside.
No, the thing in my head.
Oh, the thing in your head. My bad. And also, you have been teleported before. The very fucking beginning of our campaign was you being teleported. My bad. But yeah, the thing in your head. Yeah, you don't get like an inkling anymore of where Lyri might be. Like, she's clearly gone.
Did you hear that?
Hear what? The shopkeeper didn't come with you. He's been keeping watch from a distance.
Lyri, what's going on? Are you alright? I'll try to open the door.
Lyri, did you lock the door?
Yeah.
It is locked. What are you doing? Have some decency, man.
I think she's no longer there.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I'll try to kick the door down.
Give me a forceful.
Or open.
Or yeah, then give me a forceful. I'll say it's sufficient to like damage the lock. You probably need to give it another kick to properly open it, but the shopkeeper rushes in your direction. What do you think you're doing? You break it, you fix it, you buy it. Thief!
Does it open?
You need to give it another kick.
Yeah, I just ignore him and I kick it again.
Give me another forceful. Not quite there.
Wait. Let me see if I can invoke anything. Well, not really. Not a very forceful guy. No, I don't think anything would really make sense. Professional kleptomaniac would be more for unlocking stuff, not really breaking it. Alright, the door defeated me.
Well, you can still try again, but the issue is the shopkeeper will reach you first. So
Alright, I'll stop.
The shopkeeper reaches you and grabs you by the hand and says, "You're coming with me. We'll report this to the Stormwind Guard. I don't know what trouble the lady is going with or what scheme's going on, but you do not damage someone else's property."
I think she's dead, mate.
What do you mean she's dead?
I don't know. I had a magical connection with her, and it's gone.
I don't care about whom you fancy, my good sir.
Can you hear her? I can't.
Give me a careful or a flashy. Oh, for the light. Ma'am? Ma'am, are you in there? For goodness sake. He pulls out a key and starts unlocking the door. Oh, you damaged the lock. How am I gonna...
How much?
Be cost me 20 silver should be.
All right. Let's make a bet. If the chick is not behind the door, I'll give you 10 gold. If she's there, I'll give you 30.
Wait, so you give me 10 gold if she isn't, and 30 if she is?
Aye.
He unlocks the door. And the thing, as he opens the door, what you see is like a bunch of dust arranged in a strange position, and the dust like seems to be evaporating. Like it was like gold colored, and now it's starting to turn like the color of like a dark brown, pretty much, and it starts pretty much evaporating as if the wind's taking it. What in the name of the light?
I have no idea, mate. I give him the 10 silver, and I leave.
Wait, you promised 10 gold.
Well, no, silver.
But what you said gold. I don't know if this is a DoomGoblin mistake or a Bladebeard misdirection.
Let's say it's a in-character mistake. I meant to say 10 gold, definitely, yeah. But Bladebeard is kind of dumb and tired, and he said gold instead of silver.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I said silver.
You're coming with me to the guard.
Nope. And I'll start running.
Give me a quick. You easily outpace the man and make yourself scarce. He has no idea where you might have gone. What's your next step?
As I am running, can I take something from the store?
With that a big of a difference, sure, but I think the only thing that's like easily accessible would be like Lyri's money or the guy's change or the cheap shawl.
Oh, so no, like clothing.
It's held. It's like behind the. What's the word I'm looking for? Behind the counter.
All right. Never mind. I take nothing.
Fair enough. Did you actually hand him the 10 silver, by the way?
If he took it, yeah.
He wouldn't have, because he expected 10 gold. Okay.
All right, then as I was running away, I threw it in his face and ran away.
Sure. Where to now, Captain Bladebeard?
Back to Buhd.
Sure. Benjamin, you still have a bit of a while to wait, but... Sorry, I had to sneeze. But do you do anything while you wait?
Not really, no. I just sit there.
Okay, then we'll continue with Bladebeard. You can enter the Ogre Hotel, but you actually give me a careful. You do see some guards have apparently like you have one of the entrances of the Cathedral District in view, and you see that some guards have like sort of positioned themselves at the entrance per what Chris promised.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'll go to Buhd first.
Yeah, you would enter the Ogre Compound, but what would you and Tomo have been doing?
I think Buhd would just be kind of like talking to him about like what's been going on while he was away.
Me and Bladebeard, we found two ladies, and the two ladies were complaining about something, and I wanted to investigate. And Bladebeard, Bladebeard want do the nasty with the ladies. So
Yes.
I have no idea what's going on, but Bladebeard uses his magic wizard powers to find the thief, and
Yes, yes.
he's running after Lyri for some reason. But yeah, I hope it goes well. I hope I get my
Oh,
own investigation reward.
what did the thief steal? Was it this? Point and holds up the note that Lyri gave.
No, it sounded more like gems and other stuff.
Ah, puts it back in his bag. This magazine is very interesting. I have no idea what it's saying, but maybe you would find it interesting.
Oh, let me take a look.
Remind me, Bud, do you read Common?
I think I forget, but I think Bud can read some common, but it's very like he's not the best. I think that's what I believe.
Then you can immediately tell. First things first, Tamal is holding it upside down. Second thing, it's pretty much like one of those like advertising leaflets, like from like a particular store. This one in the Mage District, and it's advertising a bunch of magical trinkets.
Looks like a trinket book.
Yes, yes. I recognize the Aldorian crystals right away.
Oh, so you're reading it weird, like a bat. You're supposed to read it like this, like not a bat.
No, I disagree. I think that's nonsensical according to the theorem of Zalhush. You have to read it like this, and like he stands up and like lifts it back upside down, because you see then this symbol kind of looks like this glyph, and then this glyph would be connected to this symbol. You see, it's a code.
Oh, I never thought of it that way. A code. I wonder if I could investigate things by looking at things like this.
Oh, it was quite common in my former workplace. See? And you see this image kind of looks like this glyph. But what he is like indicating a gem in connection to like an upside down G, which kind of also looks like a circle. And so on and so forth. At this point, Bladebeard, you would rejoin the scene as you see Bud and Tamal nerding out over a magazine.
Oh, hello there.
Hello,
Hello.
Captain.
What's going on?
I'm learning new ways to investigate by reading things like a bat.
Like a bat.
Captain Bud is a bit crude in his in the way he's saying things. I'm instructing him in proper code breaking techniques. See, and he tries to show the magazine to you, to Bladebeard. Bladebeard, you can't read, so you probably can't read out that it's upside down. But he says, see, this item looks sort of like this glyph, and this glyph sort of looks like this symbol. Makes sense, doesn't it? Simple.
Yeah, I guess. Is it like a treasure map?
I'm not very sure what it is. But I believe it's a hidden code that might, as you say, lead us to a treasure map.
All right, we'll think about that later. I followed Lyri, and she went to a toilet, and she disappeared. She I don't know what happened.
Is that
Did
what
she?
happens when elves defecate?
Ugh.
No, it doesn't.
Explains a lot why she goes away so often.
I don't think it does. Maybe Lyri is a special case, as she often is.
So, what do you suggest, Captain? What do you suggest happened?
I have no idea. I didn't even try thinking about it. I guess maybe she disintegrated. Maybe she like had a weakness for water, like some witches.
So she's a witch?
I don't know, but I have no idea. I followed her. The ghost in my head told me that she was there, and then she just whoosh. There was some sound.
Ghost in your head?
Yeah, the same one that revived me and stuff. That doesn't matter. What matters is that Lyri is dead or somewhere else.
Somewhere else. Do you believe she teleported, perhaps?
Maybe she's both dead and somewhere else, like some kind of land of shadows where you die. Go there.
That does not make sense, Captain Buhd. Everyone knows that when you die, you simply disintegrate.
So
Really?
she did.
Yes, and your souls becomes nourishment for whatever creature deems it best. There was quite a practice in our society of collecting soul gems. I found it rather ghastly, but it is what it is.
Ghastly. Kind of like gassy bathroom. So she must be dead.
Well, damn, she's dead.
I did not know elves die when they go to the bathroom.
Well, they don't. They don't. I know for a fact.
Maybe Lyri did. Maybe she ate a bad burrito.
She said that she had something to give and say to Benjamin. Maybe he would know?
Oh, maybe that's what your letter's for. Your paper thing.
Perhaps. Shall we go and ask Benjamin?
Yeah, we should go ask him. What's up?
Okay.
Sure.
Who shall be watching the ogres?
Oh.
Do you
I guess
want-
I should do that.
Well, I could. I've been doing a good job so far.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. I'll take the paper thingy, and you watch ogres still.
Handle it with care, please.
Of course, I'll handle it like baby kitten.
I do not know what that is, but sure.
Oh, it's like smaller version of talking cat, but cuter and doesn't talk.
Understood. He hands you the note. What do you do with the note?
Buhd will put it. Does he have pockets? I think he would. Pants, like his pants would have pockets. I think he would like
Thompshire knows that answer.
Thompshire.
I'll leave it up to the imagination.
Okay.
I'm gonna say he has pockets, so he puts it in one of his pockets.
Sure. And I'm guessing you head towards where Benjamin is, correct?
Do we know where Benjamin is?
Alright, you don't know where Benjamin is, my bad.
Well, he went after John, right? To the stockade.
I am not entirely sure. I just know that he went with Lady Lyri, and I'm not entirely sure what their goal was after all.
They stole the necklace. But then, where did he go after that? Maybe he also stole something and is hiding, or maybe he also exploded. Yeah, a lot of mysteries.
Right. So, where should you guys search? You?
I look at Buhd.
Can't you use magic ghost to find Benjamin?
I don't know.
Above board, DoomGoblin. I will allow you to try to use the quote-unquote magic ghost again by rolling a clever, but with the caveat that a poor roll rather might have negative consequences.
When you said that I could roll to see, I was kinda but when you said that something negative could happen, I'm 100% for it. Alright, so clever, right?
Clever. That's not quite poor enough for the negative thing to happen. You start focusing, and Buhd, you hear Bladebeard fart.
You gonna disappear now too?
I hope not.
This is a virus. I don't want any part of it. It sounds really bad.
I guess the ghost doesn't know where Benjamin is, so he might be dead as well.
They're both dead?
I don't know, Buhd.
I'm still not
No,
clear who the ghost is.
Benjamin?
What?
I like Benjamin.
Wait, one at a time. Tamal, what did you say?
I'm still not clear who the ghost is.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't even know who he is. And what did you say, Buhd?
Oh, Benjamin's friend. I hope he's not dead.
Yeah, I hope too. But, I don't know. I guess we'll see if we ever see him alive again.
Shall we check up on Benjamin?
Sure.
Benjamin, you've been waiting for probably like 45 minutes so far. It's very boring. What are you doing?
I guess I'm just still sitting, arms crossed, sort of looking around.
Can you give me a... Actually, no roll required. You would see at this point Miracle walking down the stairs, and she looks to be about to leave the building.
I get up and walk over to her.
When she sees you approach, she stops and gives you a slight smile in a way, but also has like a slightly concerned expression.
Well, I hate to come to you in the middle of your work, but is it?
Above will remind me, you know sign language, right?
I think I mentioned that I know a word or two.
She signs, "I'm off duty." Now.
Well, we just wanted to know if you had some sort of paperwork that proves that we are guests in Stormwind, because it seems that one of our companions, the Forsaken John, is currently in prison for being, well, a Forsaken.
She looks concerned and starts saying something in sign language, too fast for you to understand, something to the likes of "they should have known" or something like that. She seems a bit panicky.
Well, I'm sure we'll sort things out. There's still a few hours till the harbor is clear, then we can, well, leave.
She signs, "Why have you been waiting for me? Why didn't you speak to the bureau chief?"
Well, you seem the most involved person in our case, and I wasn't sure what I can or cannot say, I guess.
She sighs and grabs you by the hand and starts dragging you to her boss, who is just behind, well, not boss, but to the person behind the desk that you haven't interacted with. And the person who is A male dwarf looks up and says, "Oh, hi, Mirka, and hello. What can I help you with?" And Mirka starts speaking in sign language at like furious speeds at him. You can't really keep up with what she's saying, but the dwarf seems to nod like, "Yes, I see." And after a couple,
Okay, I sort of look a bit overwhelmed.
and after a few seconds, the dwarf turns to you and says, "Well, why didn't you just come forward to begin with, lad?" Starts rummaging. There it is, and he takes out a form and starts writing in it. And he says, "Take this to the people at the stockades, and they'll release your fella." Stupid buggers not knowing who the fuck they're dealing with.
I can sort of nod and say, well, thank you very much. I'll get to it right away.
Mirka turns to you and signing slower this time. She says, "I feel responsible. Do you want me to go instead?"
No, it's fine. It's sort of close to where I'm going anyways.
She shrugs and taps her wrist. You know how someone would say look at the time, something like that, and then says in sign language, "Remember to tell Lyri, please."
Oh, she went there a while back, I think.
She sighs and says in sign language, "That's no good. She has to arrive on time, otherwise Desk Lady would have turned her away."
Then it's a bit strange she didn't come back, but she wasn't really feeling too well. But if I see her, I'll remind her.
She gives you a thumbs up. And the dwarf would hand you a form filled out and stamped out and signed and double signed. You'd be able to see some choice language in that form, and it says, "Take it to the fuckers that's at the stockades and tell them to look at who the fuck they're arresting next time."
I didn't know a formal document had such interesting language.
Aye, well, if they don't like it, they can report me to the SI7. Oh, wait.
Benjamin just kind of chuckles slightly nervously. Again, thank you very much for this document. I'll be heading out then.
He nodded you and says, "Should have come here fucking sooner." And Mirka signs to you, "Good luck out there. Do you want me to come with, or will you be fine?"
Well, I don't mean to intrude on your off-duty time, but if you want to come along, feel free to.
I am sorry for that this happened, and she will come with. As you guys walk, do you talk about anything, do anything, etc., etc.?
I don't think so.
Okay. Then she wouldn't particularly ask you about anything either. How much attention are you paying to your surroundings?
About the same as before.
Sure, give me another careful. Okay. Carrying on, you enter the trade district. Same question. Do or say anything? Pay any attention to your surroundings, etc.
The usual.
Give me another careful. Okay. You would clearly see that apparently there's some sort of dance tournament going on, that apparently one of the competitors has either forfeited or been arrested or something like that. So the most promising contestant seems to be a human paladin, but I don't know if you care too much about that.
Not particularly, no. My tap dancing days are over.
understandable. And yeah, you would then reach the Mage Quarter and the stockades. Same question. What before you get there? Do or say anything or anything like that?
Well, then, this place doesn't bring me good memories.
She sighs and says, it won't take more than 5 minutes, probably, in sign language.
Well, with this funky language, I'm sure they liked fast.
Or they'll imprison us both, she signs.
Well, I guess I'm used to it by now.
Sure. Yeah. You enter the stockades, and you clearly see, like, the first thing you see is like an office where like a guard is like shuffling papers, and he notices you.
Greetings.
Above board is not the same guard when the last time you were arrested, by the way.
That's that's good.
Good evening. What can I help you with?
We've come to pick up a prisoner that has been wrongfully detained.
Has his innocence been proven in a trial, or what's this about?
Well, I believe he was arrested for being a Forsaken.
Oh, right. That one. Right. Public drunkenness, too.
Well, he is a guest of Her Majesty, His Majesty King Varian and Alba, and the documents.
Let's see here. Yeah. Fucking Mironin. Fucking. Alright. He, like, puts the document down after he reads it and says, Bishop. And another guard walks up and says, and the one under this says, Prisoner 2B1 is to be released. Can I have your name?
Benjamin Aaran.
Right. Says, tell him that one Benjamin Aaran came for him, and that he should be fucking lucky. And Bishop looks at you, gives you a strange look, and walks off. Miracle will sign to you. See, 5 minutes. What do you do while you wait?
I guess I just sort of look around.
Yeah, you see the normal operation of the stockades, I suppose. It's a prison, not a very pleasant one. The prisoners, as you know, are kept below ground, so you aren't able to see any. After a couple minutes, the guard would return with John. John, who is currently mostly naked, well, like chest up naked, says, I wasn't expecting you to come for me. Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. I'm sorry for what happened. Yeah.
First of all, I'll sort of take off my coat and give it to him.
Oh, thank you.
Well, we wouldn't want to be arrested for public indecency, would we?
Yeah. The guard bishop would say, one of the prisoners wants to talk to you. One, Ember something, Ember Mitch, Ember whatever. You can refuse, obviously.
I can just shoot a look at Miracle.
She looks at you back like, what's up?
Okay, if it's quick.
The guard shrugs, and Miracle signs to you, I'll take care of John while you're gone.
I'll just note that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guard would guide you down the stockades, and the guard wouldn't say anything. Do you ask him anything?
So who is this prisoner again?
Some sort of half-elf says he knows you.
Oh, okay. I see where this is going.
I mean, you're the one who agreed to be here.
Yeah, I just took... I just thought it'd be somewhere else. Let's just get there.
Keeping him in max security after a prisoner escaped yesterday. Killed a guard too.
Then he wasn't related to that half-elf?
Oh no, it was a Pandaren. We locked him back up, so surprisingly, but you never know of those bastards.
I don't see a lot of those.
Right, this way. And he would guide you down the stockades. Can you roll me a careful, Benjamin? Okay. The roll was to see if you are able to distinguish any other prisoners or not, but it's too dark for you to really see. And eventually you would, the guard would bring you to a solid door. Most of the cells have been just jail bars, you can see inside, but this one is like a solid door. And the guard knocks on the door and says, "Oi, Ember, whatever. I brought Benjamin Aaran." And the guard walks away, steps away a little bit, still within earshot though. Is that you, Benjamin? You hear your uncle's voice.
It's been a couple days, hasn't it?
It has. Should have killed me, being honest, but well, I guess that's a weakness that both of us share.
Well, I'm a bit busy at the moment, so what do you want?
Well, I quite imagine that we'll see each other again at one point. Not here. But I think it would go for both our sakes, rather, and for the sakes of, well, what remains of our family. I wanted to ask you a favor, Benjamin.
I'm listening.
Whatever bad blood is between us, please find my daughter. This isn't coming from me as a leader of some shady organization or whatever. This is coming from an uncle to his nephew.
Benjamin sort of stays silent for a couple of seconds and just says, "Well, you don't have to ask. I intended to do that as soon as my business here is cleared."
I truly regret that we find ourselves on opposite sides. But if this is to be how it's going to be, then let's at least ensure that one person will be alive in the end. Referring to Ayla above board.
Well, I guess it is good that we can agree on one thing.
Thank you for coming to see me. I wasn't actually thinking that you would.
Well, for a moment I thought you were Lyri, and that she got in trouble, but well, that seems it was just you.
Well, that would not be unexpected of her. Given her reputation, I imagine she's all the way out in Outland at this point.
Please don't scare me like that.
Till we meet again, Benjamin. Well, whatever happens, I'm proud to call you my nephew. And I hope that, well, you have at least a little bit of respect for me as your uncle. Whatever happens.
I can't say I absolutely hate you. As a child, I definitely looked up to you in a bit of a strange way compared to my own father, but, well, I guess times do change.
They do. Try not to get sentimental next time. I imagine that the next time we meet, neither one of us will have a proper chance to be merciful, no matter how much we may wish it.
Well, I guess we'll find out when the time comes then.
To our next meeting, then.
Cool. I just, can you see me, or is it just like...
No, you're talking like he's behind a closed door.
Well, yeah, right. And I kind of just... Till we meet again, then. And I just turn around and go back to the guard.
He's been close by, like he has to listen in.
Okay.
Well, that was vague. Come on, let's get you out of here.
I follow him.
Can you give me another careful? Same thing for the jail cells? Okay, even more so. You have no idea. But yeah, you would eventually exit the stockades, rejoin Mirica and John. And John would say, everything alright, Mr. Benjamin?
Yeah, I actually thought it would be Lyri that got herself jailed for whatever reason, but
Oh, I could have told you that she wasn't here. Well, at least I think she isn't.
well, I just ended up getting a word with my beloved uncle.
Your uncle's here?
Yeah, did you miss the whole, I guess you did.
He blinks.
A bit of a long story. I'll tell you on the way.
Mirica, you see that she's been like, not chatting, but like asking the guard something, and she turns back and says, "There's no Sin, Lyri, and Sorrow here," with a smile.
I'm not sure if that's reassuring or worrying.
She climbs down. She was sort of like standing on a chair to talk to the guard who was behind the counter, and she extends a hand towards you, Benjamin.
I guess I'll take it.
She shakes your hand, and she does the same thing with John. John, right, and also shakes her hand, and she says in sign language, "I apologize for all the misunderstandings. You seem like an upstanding citizen from what little we've met and talked. I hope all goes well for you."
Thank you. Well, everything ended up somewhat okay in the end, so I guess there's no hard feelings.
And Mirica would then wave both of you goodbye as she would depart. And John looks at you and says, "So, where to? Where's everyone else?"
I guess we're meeting up at the Ogre Hotel, as we're calling it, and hopefully we'll be leaving Stormwind soon.
Oh, well, not a moment too soon at that. As you're walking, John will ask you a bunch of questions, basically like asking for you to fill him in on what's happened. Would you fill him in?
Yeah.
Sure. Before you rejoin Bladebeard and Buhd, would you guys have been up to anything before Benjamin rejoins you?
Let's say
might
no.
talk, I guess.
Tomo would have proposed playing cards, but would quickly realize that he doesn't have cards. But Bladebeard or Buhd can have cards if they like.
I have card.
Sure. Above board, is anyone cheating? And are you playing for money?
I don't think Bud has any money on him. I don't think he would cheat.
Yeah, let's say we are not playing for money, but Bladebeard is cheating.
Okay. First off, Bladebeard, can you roll me a sneaky? And Buhd, can you roll me a careful? That was a very poor sneaky roll.
I will spend a fate point on what pirate captain were here.
If you can tell me why.
Well, because pirates are criminals, cheaters, that kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah, nobody notices you cheating. And also I've removed your stress because you are resting at the moment, okay?
Great.
Okay, then I'm going to roll some numbers. This is Tomo's score. This is Buhd's score. And let's roll for Bladebeard. And that's Bladebeard's score. At whatever game you're playing. A score which, like, Tomo would then say, I didn't know a deck could have 7 aces.
Well, world is full of surprises, mate.
Yeah. Like, the rolls say, because of the rolls, but you didn't realize that Bladebeard was cheating, but, like, 7 aces is maybe enough even for you to realize something's off.
Something not right here.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just, I'm on a different level when it comes to card games. You'll get there. You'll get there.
You say so. Next time I will king you, though.
I believe it's best to have what's called a flush. I think that's what the term is. Tomo clearly doesn't really understand the rules, as you can see from his score.
Yeah.
Okay. And as the match is wrapping up, I think at this point Benjamin and John would enter the Ogre Hotel. Above board, by the way, the ogres, having finished ransacking, are mostly napping at this point.
Yeah.
So, Benjamin, as you entered the Ogre Hotel, what's up? Well, actually, everyone, what's up?
I guess as soon as I get in, I try to find Buhd or Bladebeard.
Yeah, they're everyone is standing like close to the entrance, so you'd see Bladebeard and Buhd and Tomo playing cards. You can tell from a distance that Tomo is holding his cards upside down.
Oh, you're back, Bladebeard.
Hi.
Hello,
Yeah.
Captain, says John.
Oh, John. Great. We were waiting for you.
So is Lyri around?
No.
No.
She, Alright, so this is how it happened. There are these two chicks that, me and
Okay,
Buhd-
why do I feel the need to ask you to skip that part?
Alright, I followed her to a toilet, and when
Why would you follow a woman to a toilet? That's not
No,
okay.
no, Lyri. Not a woman, Lyri.
That's
Sorry.
that's still not okay, Bladebeard.
Because she stole... that's why you needed to know the full story. She stole a necklace from Brittany? From Martha. From Martha, and
Your
I was...
mom?
No. Another Martha.
Okay.
And when I found her, there was a magical sound, and when I opened the door, she was gone, and
So,
I couldn't feel her present anymore.
The captain has a magical ghost in his mind that says when Lyri is nearby. Tomo clarifies.
what?
And that doesn't matter. What matters is that Lyri is either dead or I don't know. Maybe she was kidnapped. Maybe she was kidnapped.
By who?
She left a message for you. To Buhd. Says Tomo.
Yep, I have it right here in my pocket. Let me get it out.
Zelris, would you be so kind as to DM Thompshire your message?
Here you go, Benjamin.
And Thompshire can say it out loud or keep it to himself as he wishes, okay? Me all the while, John has just been like, I'm so happy to be around here, etc., etc. Like, he's just been looking around almost like, I'm so happy to be out there. Just very self.
Yeah. Are you alright, John?
Been better, Captain. Good old Benjamin was kind enough to lend me his coat. I wish we could leave Stormwind as soon as possible, though.
Yeah, we'll leave pretty soon. I think.
Are you fucking kidding me? She left.
She left? She gone?
She left.
Into the sewer?
No, this note just mentions that she's just going her own way back to her the Silver Moon, I guess. But this still doesn't explain why she just vanished in a bathroom. Can she? Well, I know she can teleport short distances, but I don't think she can just teleport her way to Silver Moon, can she?
I mean, maybe all Blood Elves can. They are pretty magical people.
I mean, I feel I would know that, maybe. I don't know.
would say, I did hand her some dust, arcane dust, and that should be able to, like, with arcane dust you can teleport pretty much anywhere, so, and she's an experienced mage, she should teleport anywhere. Was the dust in a particular shape, Captain Bladebeard?
It was probably in a shape.
Which one?
What did I see?
Give me a careful, Bladebeard.
Yes, amazing.
Looked like a fancy donut. Ooh, with cream too.
Yeah, I say that.
Fancy donut with cream.
I could go for a donut right now, actually.
Donut.
Really, Bladebeard?
Yeah, really. I'm kind of hungry.
Well, so am I, but we sort of have a situation in our hands.
We always have a situation in our hands.
Well, fair point.
That is true. We do usually have a lot on our plates. Normally not donuts, though.
Well, I guess I did teach Lyri the way to teleport to Area 52, but she's an experienced mage. I imagine she would have used the arcane dust in other ways if she could have, right?
Well, she's not an experienced mage, for one.
She's not?
No.
Why didn't you tell me that?
Well, Why would I tell you that? You didn't ask.
Then I definitely shouldn't have given her the arcane dust. John, give me back the dust. What dust? I didn't get any dust. Goodness, right. She should have given you dust, but she didn't give you dust. Oh dear.
So, she's in God knows where?
Well, I can take us there. I have enough dust for everyone, including the ogres. But is that what we want? I cannot guarantee a return trip.
Well, if we don't take the ogres, do we have enough dust to come back?
The problem won't be the dust, rather the fact that none of us I know the pattern for teleportation to Area 52. I don't know the pattern for teleportation anywhere else, and I don't believe anyone here is an experienced mage. So we need.
There's a literal district in this city. I'm sure there's experienced mages there.
Right. So are we going now, or do we kidnap an experienced mage? What's the plan?
What? Who said anything about kidnapping? We can just ask like normal people.
Well, what sane person would want to go to Area 52?
Well, what's the point? I just mean have them teach you the whatever you need to return to Stormwind.
That years, Mr. Benjamin.
Didn't you literally teach Lyri in like how little time it was?
Yes, but do you know how long it took me to learn that? Let me roll a dice. $58 months.
Can't I do it instead or something? I don't know. Maybe because I'm a human or something.
Are you implying that I can't cast spells because I'm an ethereal?
No, I just mean that maybe you are more attuned to ethereal spells than human ones. Maybe.
Well, this is an ethereal spell, and it took me 58 months to learn.
How long do people live again?
I stopped counting after the 9th.
Then, if you think like in proportions, 58 months is not that long.
Oh yes, but you Azerothians don't live for that long, I think.
Well, yes, but I guess that could just mean we learn things faster. I don't know.
He stares at you. I'm not sure if I should be offended.
Not necessarily. I'm just trying to figure out how to handle this.
Can't this is John speaking. Can't we just find the mage there? We can find mages there, right?
Well,
Oh yes, certainly. I've heard there's a Teeironor one who's been staying there for a while.
We actually have a friend here in Stormwind from Teeironor, right? The man got stabbed.
Well, I assume she would.
She can teleport us back to Stormwind.
Well, if she's recovered, maybe that's a good idea.
I mean, it's my idea, so obviously it's good.
Well, but that leaves the question of the ogres. Who's gonna keep an eye on them for however long we take? Because I don't think it's a good idea to take ogres to wherever we're going.
Yeah, they're not like that. Plus, they think they're leaving soon.
Well, this is Timon speaking. I have enough dust for the ogres, and I probably have enough dust for the mage to bring us back afterwards, so we can bring them with. It's... Oh, it actually could be quite close to their homeland, I guess. But... Is it wise to leave the ogres alone here?
Wait, we
Probably
don't even
not.
know if Lyri will come back.
That's a good point. Does she
Well,
want to come back?
I just mean that she's in the middle, wherever Area 51 is.
52.
And 52, right? And that could be dangerous. And you of all should know how dangerous it is to teleport to places we don't know, right? And I can't just
Nope.
elbow him a bit too forcefully.
Well,
Nope.
the inhabitants shouldn't be too dangerous unless the radiation has gotten worse. The architects are probably bad, especially for one with her complexion. Hard to say, Tamal speaking.
So there's a chance that it's bad.
As with everything.
Well, bigger chance than normal.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's the chance that Lyri was willing to take.
Okay, Bladebeard, next time you teleport to wherever we won't come to get you. Okay, that's noted.
Well, I didn't teleport on purpose. Well, actually, I did. Yeah. The second time. All right, let's go get Lyri.
Well, what about the ogres? What about the mage?
It is really important.
I'm ready to go now. I'm also ready to go later, but well, the longer Lady Lyri goes unassisted in there, the harder likelihood that she may be in trouble, I guess.
Well, maybe we put ogres on a boat, and then we to the boat when we
Well,
return.
The boat is moving. How do you expect to teleport back to a boat?
I don't
We
know.
just
I don't
end
know
up in
magic.
ocean at that point.
I don't know magic.
It's teleporting, from what I know, teleporting to a moving object is more difficult, but not impossible.
Well, we've seen some sort of beacons being used for that. It's not like anything like that, though.
I stand ready, whatever you decide. He starts digging in his pouch.
So, what's the plan? That's Bladebeard. But
Maybe we put ogres on the boat and tell the captains to bring them somewhere closer, like, I don't know, Booty Bay, right? And then the mage would teleport us to Booty Bay, and then we would the ogres and the ship.
I don't think it's a good idea to take them to Booty Bay.
Why not?
and that still begs the question of who keeps an eye on them. And two, the house is still closed.
Pretty rowdy. They ate a lot of food. They're sleeping now, but don't think that again.
I don't know. I'm going with you guys are going with. I'm just spitting out ideas. I don't know how magics work. Or ogres.
Well, for a ship and then leave.
Well, you know how Lyri is at this point.
Well, she always leaving.
Can we send a mail to the area 50? What?
52, Captain.
52? We send a letter to her. And tell her where we are going to be, or to teleport to our location. I don't know.
Sounds bizarre, Captain. Above board. I guess, above board. I was hoping that we would have a decision by the end of this session, but would you guys like to leave the decision for next time and like however long to mull it over?
Yeah, I think that's smart.
Okay. Then let's check up on Lyri for a little bit. Lyri.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing hits you when you, even before like you're able to like properly open your eyes, is the fact that you're just assaulted by a burst of magic. Almost feels like you're drowning, but then you realize that like you're surrounded by magic all around you. Mostly arcane, but also fell, etc., etc. And open eyes. The nether storm above board is what you see. This wasteland that's just brimming with magic. And you're just for reference's sake, because you're not in Area 52. You are in the wasteland.
Lyri blinks a couple times and kind of looks around.
Temperature, it feels like almost warm. Like it feels like you didn't even leave Stormwind. It's more or less supposed to be like climate, but the world around you just feels extremely wrong. Like there's rocks floating in midair. There's this constant current of arcane magic all around you, but like you would try to like reach out almost instinctively, tap the mana that's around you, but it almost feels like you're in a sea trying to grab a bit of water. It just is impossible. The magic is all around you, but you can't touch it directly.
There seems to be a bit of a mistake here. Doesn't seem like anywhere in the Eastern Kingdoms I know of. Lyri kind of frowned.
How much time have you spent, if any, talking with like former Fury people?
She knows what she heard of in the book, not really much. She knows what she would definitely know the name of like to where she is if she was like told more specific from this alone.
I think you actually would recognize like the general region you are in, because pretty much everyone would have spoken about this region that's just like brimming with magic. Whatever Prince Kael'thas was doing to try to harness that magic. You realize that you are indeed in the Nether Storm, which is like the part of your brain that's like hungering for magic is perhaps a little, but every part of your brain, like this place seems danger to you.
Could this really be? No. This couldn't be the promised land that the tried to lead us to, right? Kind of says aloud while scratching her head.
There's like the crackling of arcane thunder in the background. It feels very wrong. This place, like it shouldn't be able to exist.
Lyri looks around for any structures.
The three structures, like they're all in different directions. One is above board, will be known as a mana forge. Like in the image, you can see is the thing. Would be what above board would be Tempest Keep, but basically you would see these weird, almost Draenei looking structures floating in the air. And the next thing would be to the actually no, you wouldn't have been, never mind. But the next thing is a that's covering a part of the landscape and looks like isolating and protecting that part of the landscape.
Then enough told me in the wilds, but I think this is a bit excessive. Like I can't see any plants. I should really head to one of these structures. And you're kind of Tempest Keep and then the dome. It's the dead being entered, so she's going to head towards the Mana Forge.
Sure. Also above board, you even if you had escape, I don't think you at this point right now, at least to get in the air.
That's what she meant. She could tell it was like floating or high above the.
So is the Mana Forge, correct? Is this a good spot to end?
Sure.
Okay. So, thank you for throwing either the biggest or the second biggest so far.
What was the first one?
Bladebeard teleporting himself to.
Okay.
There goes all my prep with like preparing various different ships in Stormwind Harbor and such. It's fine, it's fine. I also have prep done for Netherstorm, so it should be fun. But would you like to share either Zelris or Thompshire? I leave it up to you guys. Would you like to share what the contents of
That is the notes in general chat.
Okay. Would like me to read it out loud? Would you like to read it?
I can read it out loud.
Okay. I didn't hear. I can read it. You said, right? Okay. I'll read it out loud for our viewers as well. Benjamin, if you're reading this, that it's too late. I have once more embarked on my own journey. I've always held the opinion that if you want to close a book on something, you should do it well. The crew we've gathered will be able to weather the oncoming journey on board the ship. I've learned a lot in our brief time as a team, and I'm not going to do that easily. I've experienced a lot, and now I need to return to my homeland. If you need my help, send 2 bottles of human alcohol and a beverage local to wherever you may be to the Tarnished Glaive in Silvermoon City. From Sunreach Distribution. If you'll follow these instructions, I can promise that I'll be there as soon as possible. You to be the one needs, I know you'll do great. Make sure those ogres find a good home. Sin Lyri Ember Sorrow. So yeah, that was that. Ask what would ideally, what was Lyri planning? Like, if things were to go in an ideal fashion, what would have happened?
She assumed that Area 50 common name would be somewhere in Eastern Kingdoms, probably closer to Silvermoon than Stormwind is. So she was just gonna teleport there and then take a trek to Silvermoon.
Gotcha. Or to what happened next. But what about everyone else? What are your guys' thoughts on today's session?
Wasn't expecting Lyri to go to another.
I think you speak
Nope.
for everyone when you say that.
Wasn't too unexpected. I mean, stuff like that happened before.
I guess
It's
I
the
mean,
monk
I
of
think it's a bit harsh
the
to
ogres.
compare teleporting to Westfallen to another planet.
Yeah, I think Bladebeard did that twice, so. And like not that far from one another when he did it. Like it was I think like only 2 episodes after he beat the guy and then went like, oh, rip.
He was on it. He was playing both sides.
Well, save him.
Yeah.
I think Bladebeard's incident was more unexpected, but didn't like change things more. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see what happens on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm genuinely looking forward to what Bladebeard Buhd will decide next session. So do give it a think before we start recording next time, because the thing we're gonna start next session with is your guys' course of action from now, if that makes sense. Anything else before we go into our shoutouts?
I forgot everything that happened in this episode except for part.
Give the jewelry back to some lady.
Oh yeah, that was
They're
also
never
also asking the mysterious presence in my head to find jewelry. You offended it, which I like.
And but yeah, happens. Throws a wrench in the plans with the ogres and all. To see which order you should introduce yourselves. Okay. The time, the main like of the current story, Lyri to go last, according to those dice. Should we go into our shoutouts, or is there before session?
I don't think so.
Well then, dear viewers, thank you once again for watching and listening to us. Let's go ahead and see what these lovely people are up to. Well, we should start according to dice with the owner of the channel watching this on. Can you please go ahead and talk about yourself? Keeping in mind that 2 weeks before we be up.
Right. So I'm from okay, the past then. Right now, and hopefully it'll be done by the time that this is be out hopefully soon. Some other videos in the work that are easy to make, talking about WoW's and story and all that jazz. So of course find here on YouTube, on Twitter, where I'm the most active. That's coming up like 20 almost 20 minutes long. So yay.
Nice. He works real hard. According to the dice, we would. Can you go ahead and talk about yourself and what you're doing?
Yeah. I'm DoomGoblin. I drew. This is I will probably, or I've been doing a art challenge called Smart, named after August, the dragon from Harry Potter. Smart. It's an art challenge where you draw. That should be fun to do. On October, and I that one has, and 31, and this one as well. Man, but I like to draw in my free.
Best of luck to you, DoomGoblin. Just as the Discord React images that you see on screen, made by DoomGoblin. My Discord React image changed. Storm, that was also made by Goblin on that. We would have. Can you please go ahead and what you're doing?
Sure. On YouTube, Thompshire, and well, been doing much lately, but I just post some renders, hopefully, and very soon, just soon, maybe, find that.
Nice. We session. Please go ahead. Doing?
I make stuff online and on YouTube. You can check them out if you want, and if you don't want to, them out. All right, that's.
This stuff is. Thank you, Zelris. I was Game Master Teeironor. I do set in a homebrew universe called, which is also a lot of fun with a lovely. Other than that, once again for once, we will be back most week. Oh. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.